get the top jobs, and then, we are left with jobs that are not that rewarding. I intend to engage with the dynamic Secretary General, Wankele Meni, and I think that we should look at a plan on how we can really leverage on hosting, because we are spending so much money hosting. Some of the staff have also expressed concern about their working conditions and all of that. And I think that these are matters we can discuss in confidence and see how we boost employment opportunities for our people.
Because I overrule your first question, you have your last questions to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Ablapa, I do wish you well, and I know you will succeed. My last question. The African Union seems to have a credibility problem among young Africans, in that it is perceived as weak and toothless on the international stage. For example, in matters regarding the overstay of certain African leaders in power, the countless tragic deaths of African migrants crossing Sahara and the Mediterranean, and in the vocal defense of African interests on the global stage, the organization is found wanting. The AU, unlike the EU, appears to be too timid on behalf of its people. What would you, as foreign minister, do to help change this negative perception about the AU?
Well, thank you very much, Honorable former Minister, for your kind wishes. And I must place on record that former Deputy Minister, that you prophesied 8 years ago that I will be Minister of Foreign Affairs. So I was quite surprised when in your earlier submissions you sought to take me on. But, Mr. Chairman, on a more serious note, if the Osagefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was alive, his response to this, your question, will be, I told you so. Remember that when he led the Casablanca group, he wanted a more integral, united African states, a strong political force. He added that we must have a standby force, military force, we must have a bank, we must have a common currency, we must remove all trade barriers, trade tariffs, artificial borders, which are relics of the Berlin Conference, when Otto von Bismarck called his friends in Europe and shared Africa amongst themselves. But unfortunately, the Monrovia group prevailed, and they said, let's have a loose union without an Africa standby force, without a bank, and all of these, political structures that the visionary Kwame Nkrumah put forward. So I think at the heart of this perception of the AU is about and how we must go back to the original Nkrumah blueprint as was espoused by the Casablanca group. And I am glad that already those talks have begun within the AU. There are massive reforms going on. Indeed, some countries have even said that they will not pay their full access contributions unless they see greater reform and see the AU become more, transparent and more, beneficial to the African people. So it's good that those discussions are continuing. President Paul Kagame is leading the reforms, and President Mahama has already struck a very good, chord with him, and I'm sure that they will continue to champion those reforms. But ultimately, you may call me an Nkrumahist, but ultimately, we must go back to Kwame Nkrumah's vision of the United States of Africa. That really is what will make the AU strong and more impactful.
I will proceed to give the floor to my follow-up.
So
your follow-up on this. Very well.
Continuing, President is leading the reforms.
Let me take you on to social media, because you are a key player in that particular area. Social media has become a source of misinformation and disinformation, undermining the ability of leaders in West Africa to mobilize public support for its decisions and development agendas. You are one of the leading politicians who uses social media a lot.
Thank you very much.
You get your message
I will
and interest
the
across.
floor to my follower.
Looking at the generality of the situation
On this
and the concerns across the political divide, what are some of the initiatives that you will promote to overcome this dangerous development of social media?
Well, thank you very much. I take the view that social media is a double-edged sword. It can be a force for good, and then if it's misused, meant. I think that African leaders should become conscious of the new age, new media, and we should encourage more transparency. My view is that if African leaders and African governments adopt an open governance architecture, if they are more transparent, they are more accountable, then the people will know. Knowledge is power. It will not be easy for the people to be misled. Unfortunately, in Africa, you struggle to get information. If you are not an interceptor general, then God help you, you know. So, Mr. Chairman, I really will say that let's have more open governance. The RTI has been passed in Ghana, but in terms of its success in implementation, there is much to be desired. And then our regulatory bodies should clamp down on those who are misusing social media for disinformation, misinformation. They create fake accounts. And unfortunately, even some governments on the continent are responsible. They have these fake news factories. They pay people to just, you know, put out fake news. Will you believe that on my way to this vetting, few days in the run-up to this vetting, there was fake news all over that I have started deleting my Facebook messages, my Facebook exposés. All over, people were sharing it. And some people believed it, that I'm indeed deleting my Facebook posts. Why will I? I'm not a coward. I'm not one to, I stand by my convictions. I'm a conviction politician. So fake news is a real problem. But I think that as for social media, it's come to stay. Let's encourage more open governance, more transparency, and we should be fine with social media.
Thank you very much. I'll give the floor to Haji Aladi Ayamba.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, let me take this opportunity to congratulate Honorable Ablakwa. You've worked hard, right from when I was Deputy National Women Organizer, Rupa came, you worked hand in hand with Fifi Kwete and all others. You have never rested on your OS. Thanks to the Almighty Allah, we came to Parliament at the same time, and you have always soared high. I like the energy and the way you have always been able to work. And I would say, indeed, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has done exactly what is expected to him, because he was rewarded hard work for not only the party, but Ghana as a whole, and for all of us. Now, my question is, there is an acronym that has now become an international song. When even people say it, others will begin running.
Helter Skelter.
Someone wanted to say Helter Skelter and said Skelter Skelter. So, and the acronym is ORA. Operation Recover or Loot. I know you wouldn't belong to any team that will be doing anything adverse. So far, my observations and what I've seen, it has been good. Because I've listened, I have watched. Now, sooner than later, ORA as a team needs to have a way forward. What is ORA going to do so that all the things that you have done, the time, and now that you are not even being paid, you are just doing a yeoman's job, it wouldn't go waste. We would actually benefit from it. And then, can you tell us also apart from the way forward, can you tell us also this particular activity that you have undertaken, how much have you saved Ghanaians from these corrupt activities that has bedeviled the country and taken so much from Ghanaian taxpayers? Thank you.
Honorable member, proceed to ask the question. But because we don't have any evidence of evaluation of how much oral has been able to save, proceed to answer the question minus that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. And let me commend my big sister for her question and thank her for her kind words. She's been one of our mothers. We all go to her for advice, and she's always generous with her counseling and guidance. Mr. Chairman, as I said in my introduction, one of the jobs that I am so proud of, and I'll remain ever so proud of, is this sacrificial job to chair ORA, Operation Recover All Loot, which is a major plank in President Mahama's anti-corruption drive. The establishment of ORA is such a master stroke, and President Mahama ought to be commended. I can reveal to you today that since ORA was established, just by the establishment of the team and we receiving information from the general public, we have saved this country 20 bungalows which were going to be demolished. 20. And I can provide the list. Bungalows that were being occupied by staff of Research Department of the Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Gender, the CSIR. Bulldozers had moved in, but because they called the Oral Secretariat, and we then called National Security to take action, they were able to protect these bungalows. I have not added the Du Bois Center, the NDA lands, which were about to be captured. So President Mahama has saved this country a great deal with the establishment of ORA, and all of us must support ORA. Now we are having an international discussion. Many people forget that ORA has international dimensions. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has been an ORA champion in the international arena. Why do I say that? He has been advocating for reparation, that our colonial masters who looted Africa, they should bring it back, return our monies, our artifacts, return the loot. So I'm so shocked that our friends who started ORA even before President Mahama won the election in the international arena, when they come home, they don't want to hear about ORA. This is quite remarkable. You know, and I would have thought that charity will begin at home. You want the Brits and the French and the Dutch and others to return the loot. But back home, you want looters to go scot-free. Let's not do anything about looting. I find it really contradictory. So let's see some consistency. The other international dimension about oral is that if you check the ECOWAS protocols, the AU Charter, and all the UN charters and all of that, anti-corruption is a major plank. According to the World Bank, Africa is losing about $88 billion every year because of corruption. $88 billion, and those are conservative estimates. Imagine what that money, if it stays in the continent, used for the development of the people's welfare, how our continent will look like. So as for ORA, all of us must support it. And if you look at what has gone on in this country over the last 8 years, look, I have a tall list of monies that can be retrieved. SkyTrain, we can get our $2.5 million back. Ejapa, we can get our $12 million back. National Cathedral, we can get our $58 million back.
Honorable, these are projections.
Yes.
Are these projections?
Projections.
Honorable member.
Projections.
Honorable
no,
member.
but I think that it's important to contextualize so that, you see, when we talk about oral, people discuss oral in abstract terms. This house, Mr. Chairman, and it's unfortunate that the ranking member is not here. Mr. Chairman, if you pardon me.
He's watching
Honorable member, is there a document that you want to refer to?
Yes, please, and to also table the document.
You need to seek leave to refer to it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I want to first secure the document, and then I will table it with your permission. Pardon me, I have quite a number of documents here.
Please, just conclude your answer on this, then we can make progress. Honorable member.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
We have a very tall list today.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I have found it. It is a report of this House. Your report, Mr. Chairman, with all due respect. A report of the ad hoc committee to investigate the procurement contract between the government of the Republic of Ghana and His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Dalmouk Al Maktoum and SL Global for the supply of Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccines. Mr. Chairman, this document submitted to Mr. Speaker, adopted by this House, August 2021, signed by the Honorable Alexander K. Afenyo-Makin, Chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee. This was their conclusion. Paragraph 12.4. Quote, with your permission, Mr. Chairman. The committee urges the Minister for Finance to take steps to recover the money due to the Republic in respect of the amount of $2,850,000 United States dollars, so $2.85 million, equivalent at the time to 16,331,640 Ghana cedis, being the cost of the Sputnik V vaccines that were procured wrongly. Adopted by this House. So, Afenyo-Makin, the Honorable Afenyo-Makin, signed this report.
I was part of that committee.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Yafo. Yes, I'd even forgotten that. So, even as a House, we have been doing oral with the support of Honorable Afenyo-Makin, signing documents, also concerned about monies that have been looted that we cannot find. So why will you fight President Mahama when you have some of these reports that you yourselves have signed, urging retrieval from a finance minister? So, as for oral, it has come to stay. The second part of a question about the future of oral. Let me place on record that our job at this point is just to collect the information.
Member, just limit yourself to the scope of the question.
Yes, yes. She asked about the future of oral. It's important. And many Ghanaians have been asking since my appointment. Many Ghanaians have been asking. The way forward for oral. The way forward for oral is that all the information that have come from patriotic Ghanaians, we will be handing over our report soon, in the next few days, to His Excellency the President, the appointor, and then he will decide with his Attorney General on the second phase of oral, which is the execution phase, the retrieval phase.
Thank you very much.
So that is the future of oral. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable nominee, I am a lady from a constituency and an MP that has two countries that border us. That is Burkina Faso to the north and Togo to the east. There are a lot of concerns about the unrest, let me use that word, that especially is coming up from the Burkina side. We have a lot of unapproved roads, and because of where we are coming from, you cannot tell who is who immediately, because we look alike. Basically, we speak the same language. We are afraid of spillovers because of the people who say Boko conflict, and I will say the Kusag conflict, because it entails a whole lot. Will you take it on yourself as a minister, if approved, to make sure that you work hand in hand with the two countries? Although Burkina Faso has opted out from ECOWAS, but we are well aware that there is some leverage that we should work hand in hand with them. Will you work with them to ensure that we bring an end to these issues? Because those who are there and causing these problems, which can readily escalate, are also human beings and need to be listened to. Will you do that? Thank you.
I can assure you, Honorable Hajia Ladi, that will be pursued. It is a priority of President Mahama. That's why he's appointed a special envoy to the Sahel in the person of Lieutenant Colonel Beflo Latte. And you are close to the challenge, and I'm glad about how eloquently you speak about it. I mean, those who think we should leave them to be on their own. No. I mean, when the violence escalates, we will be the immediate harboring point for refugees, for even some of these, extremists who will come in with weapons. There are small arms and sophisticated weapons that will, be brought into our jurisdiction. And don't forget, we are already having challenges in Boku. So it presents such a toxic mix. And so if we do not help to quench the fires in these neighboring countries, we are at real risk, and there will be no stability. And what we have going for us is our stability. Without peace and stability, nothing else can be achieved. It is so fundamental. And so you have our fullest assurances that my marching orders from President Mahama is to support the special envoy to make sure that we are able to pursue peace and get our three neighboring countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, back into the ECOWAS fold, and we remain committed to that.
Thank you. Any further question?
Thank you, Chairman. I don't have any further questions. I just wish you all the best, and I do my heart off for you. Thank you, and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I will recognize Alasan Umar.
Thank you, Chairman, for the opportunity. Minister nominee, congratulations, my brother and comrade. Having listened to you on your answers regarding the oral, I know how I could tell the selflessness and patriotic ideals and your initial left-centered ideology. So I want to find out how, now that you are a foreign minister or as a foreign minister, how do you intend to marry the two? Because on the On the resume, you are the chairperson or chairman of Oral. And you are also becoming, God's willing, the next foreign minister. How do you intend to marry the two? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. A very brilliant
Thank you
question.
very much, but let me place on record that you are not yet a foreign minister unless you are giving the nod. Thank you. Proceed to answer the question.
From this first phase of information gathering into the second phase of actual retrievals, recoveries, prosecutions, when the Attorney General decides that there is basis for that. Now, your brilliant question about how I can also continue to support the process. Within the international arena, we have mechanisms of recovering loot which have been shipped to various, havens and destinations. If you take, for example, what happened to the Abacha loot in Nigeria, they needed international collaboration. And the World Bank was very supportive to help Nigeria recover hundreds of millions of dollars of the Abacha loot, particularly from Switzerland and other destinations. So I see my role as a role that will help. I'm not going to say that Oral is behind me. No, even though the next phase, the Attorney General will be leading the effort. But when he calls on me to bring in the international dimension, facilitate how to work with international organizations to retrieve loot in other jurisdictions, certainly I'll be more than happy. Relying on the Nigerian model, how they use their international partners to retrieve the Abacha loot, I think that we can also use that to retrieve loot that is hiding in all manner of places for the development of our people. Our people need that money for roads, for schools, for hospitals, for good water, and we have to help them retrieve their money.
Thank you. Any further question? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm satisfied with the answer. My second question is, and this is due to, I don't know how to call it, is it brain drain? Our youth and Ghanaian domestic workers who ran to the Gulf have been abused, several. We see pictures, we see photographs or videos. Want to find out, do you have any plan or what do you intend to do to stop this kind of abuses?
Well, thank you very much. As I indicated earlier, this is one of the priority areas His Excellency President Mahama has asked me to pursue. We make sure that we have bilateral agreements and ensure that these jobs are safe, properly done. So it's not just some agencies who are exploiting, vulnerable Ghanaians because they want jobs. So be rest assured, we are not only going to be verbally condemning what has happened, but we are going to take concrete steps with a new economic diplomacy that seeks to create jobs for our young people in other jurisdictions. Sign proper contracts, bring all of these people within a regulated space, and make sure that our young people benefit. That is the surest way of ending all of this exploitation and the violation of the human rights of our people.
Chairman, I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you. I give the floor to Honorable Vincent Asafua.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let me use this opportunity to congratulate the nominee on his appointment as the Minister for Foreign Affairs. My question to you, Honorable Nominee, is that, and I will try to give a certain background. On the 4th of September, 2021, you granted an interview on Newsfile, Joy FM. You stated that traveling on a private jet jeopardizes the president's security. and that we need a presidential travel policy to regulate how President of our Republic travels. Now, just a few days after the President of the Republic was sworn in, specifically on the 17th of January 2025, His Excellency the President, President Mahama, used a private jet to travel to Gambia. He also used the same private jet to Senegal. Now my question to you is, will you condemn this action of the President as you have done in previous times when presidents use private jets? And if given the nod to become the Minister for Foreign Affairs, when should we expect the presidential travel policy that you proposed to the people of Ghana?
Thank you very much. The first question is, will you condemn, then when you come to office, the travel policy?
It is important for us to put this matter in the proper context, and let us not compare, apples and if you like pepper, because you just can't compare them. My campaign against the non-use of the presidential jet, which this parliament approved $37 million at the time for the purchase in 2008 under the President Kufuor regime, was largely about protecting the public purse, a cost-saving concern is what I had. That why do we have a functioning presidential jet in pristine condition, and we will be spending 20,000 euros an hour renting luxury jets? That is the matter I raised, and I have the Hansard here, the Hansard of 16 June 2021. I filed an urgent question, and Mr. Chairman, if you come to column 012 with your permission, I'm not going to read, I'm just summarizing. I know that time is of the essence. You see here from column 012, the Minister for Defense at the time, the Honorable Netiwo, coming up with all kinds of excuses that you couldn't even shower in our presidential jet and all of that, which we found bizarre. So, put my concerns in proper context. It is about wastage, profligacy, the dissipation of scarce resources. That's the fundamental concern. Now, in the case of President Mahama, President Mahama is using his brother's private jet without paying for it. We are not being charged 20,000 euros an hour by the celebrated entrepreneur and business mogul Ibrahim Mahama. What the presidency has explained is that in the initial days of the presidency, they asked the Ghana Air Force to present a report, conduct an assessment and present a report on whether the presidential jet was fit for purpose. The Ghana Air Force had delayed in their submission, and in the interim, his brother stepped in. We didn't pay for it. There was no financial loss to the state. I can confirm to you that since the Ghana Air Force presented its report, I remember that on the floor of this house, the former Minister for Defense told us that he can confirm that the jet is in great condition. And I found that very revealing, because when I was on this campaign in 2021, he was telling us the jet wasn't fit for purpose. But suddenly, under a different president, it's such a great jet which can be used. So we are glad that there's been a U-turn. The Honorable Netiwo has confirmed that the jet is in good use. And I can confirm that President Mahama has since resumed the use of the Falcon 900 EXE, Ghana's presidential jet. Now, on the second aspect of your question about the travel policy, this is a matter that I feel strongly about. And if given the opportunity to sit at cabinet, I will propose that Ghana formulates a presidential travel policy. If you take the United States, for example, when the president uses Air Force One for campaigns, for private use, he is made to reimburse the American taxpayer. So every campaign, they have an independent committee that monitors. If you use the presidential jet for private business, private fundraising, for campaigns, you pay back the fuel, the cost of using it, and all of that. So, and then they also have clear guidelines on who can use those jets and how they should be maintained and all of that. We don't have that. So it is important to pursue that policy. And I can assure you that I remain committed to it, and I think that it is time for Ghana to have a presidential travel policy.
Any further question? But remember, you asked in one question. Contamination policy.
I have a follow-up.
You have a follow-up?
Yeah, I have a follow-up.
Very well.
Honorable nominee, granted that His Excellency the former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo engaged in wastage and profligacy, in your own words. On the 29th of March 2021, while you were paying tribute to the former president of Tanzania, President John Magufuli, on the floor of Parliament, you praised him for placing a ban on what you term frivolous foreign travels by government officials. Frivolous foreign travels by government officials. And if my memory serves me right, you made a post on Facebook allegedly saying that President Magufuli was flying in economy, which turned out not to be true. But now, as a foreign affairs minister...
Please, for the record, I've never put out such a post. Never. I only paid tribute to Magufuli in Parliament. I didn't talk about economic travel. Just for the record, Mr. Chairman.
Nominee, that should be your answer. So allow him to finish asking the question.
Honorable nominee, I'm suggesting to you that you made a Facebook post. And in that Facebook post, you indicated that President Magufuli has been flying in economy, and for that matter, other African countries should also learn from him. Now, as a foreign affairs minister, obviously you will be engaged in a number of travels, specifically outside the country. And I am informed that foreign affairs ministers travel on either first class or business class. Now, if you were to make a round trip to New York in the United States of America with Emirates, you will be paying around 250,000 Ghana cedis on first class. Now, if you decide to do business class, you will be doing about 140,000 Ghana cedis. In your own words, His Excellency the President Nana Akufo-Addo engaged in wastage, profligacy. If you want to do economy, you'll be doing around 27,000 Ghana cedis. Would you decide to use economy class ticket, or you will do business class?
The first question is, did you make that Facebook post?
No, I did not.
Well,
and
making reference to contribution on the floor and a Facebook post, he interjected to say that the Facebook post, no. Is that not it? So now that you have the opportunity to answer the question, did you make those Facebook posts? What was your contribution on the floor?
So my contribution on the floor was to eulogize President Magufuli, and I stand by it. I think he's one of the greatest African leaders we've had, and it's a shame that he didn't live long. I mean, just like Professor Mills, he could not complete his term, and President Magufuli did a lot of things, a lot of cost-saving measures, including even reviewing how they celebrate their national days and all of that, renegotiating, their agreements in the extractive industry and all of that. Great leader, and I admire such leaders who protect the public purse genuinely, not just by rhetoric. Having said that, I would also want to place on record that when given the nod as foreign minister, I shall never ever rent a 20,000 euros an hour luxury jet. Never ever. I shall.
Mangana, adeshe mama, mama swear. Mama ye febi akuye ni ondo, efansu mi many. Now many ye yankasara japadea.
All right, we say mo bibiara kwa bebio FM Kastle 90.3 FM. And Friday, thank God it's Friday. The last day in the month of January 2025. As usual, me man who do yes, bro, I will feed you my and I am an extensive version of the Vectin. I put a woman or because Kofu and use a chiripa. What's that anticipation? People anticipating a lot, and I'm an extended version of it. You're good at your corner intermittently, you best switch over. Now you call, now you quit in 70B. Once I'm able to go so what nasi. My main production team is headed by Mr. Bernard Ogo, Damaso FKK Osman Blackus, and Afi Alfredo, and one and a warboa and my Missy Abrao. And she said to me, Audacia, Yenina Yarbois, and my Ghana, a tumna conenim, and yes, Susubri be pebi from a Ghana. Susubri be pebi from a Ghana. And a pay, a rabri, a yimbri, a humachi, or depending the country that you are monitoring us from. Osana, we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, we are streaming live. All our various social media handles, we are streaming live. Kastle 90.3 FM, on Sabakan Oho. The various platforms are, yes, a message, yes, for doing or a very active. Brand interact 0244-743-143 0244-743-143 na yenzi inkomo yani text message another WhatsApp message for bra Mr. Reba our message it should be devoid of insults I trust I'm a send us an ashimi bio na abwechi send bio waba me brand na me tum na makan. The construction of your message, if you are na oye, and now asana which we do a typographical error. If you are doing your fastest and insano, and to more general canon, dominant and so type. So we appreciate you very much for always making this station your number one on your dial. Kastle 90.3 FM. Memano Hudo, Missing is coming a suman. Welcome on board. Fasten your seat belts. Let's fly.
Anya sape da chinchiriba eba be mu yemfo. Minia susu brebe.
Onentifiti inida demra na vetin orokodo yehu the scaffolds za osi ewo ho. Yehu za anapain so osi ewo ho. But now we are having a smooth vetin. Orokodo nkakankra. Honorable Samuel Kujo said this. But so far, how would you rate the performance of the vetting committee? The vetting committee, no, a rate one, a be rate one, hin. Say a rate.
Nekrono, ofemuma, besebe nguminya ni otenkunu, ofemuma. Inti asemene ose, yasumka.
Now, Ariabi Ridge Royal Hotel Semen Control there or a package for you this vast day. And to also discover and march buffet packages at our stunning restaurant this vast day. And to buffet any breakfast in here 200 Ghana cedis.
Now many
Lunch in here 300 Ghana cedis. Dinner in here 350 Ghana cedis. Now, what's the main control? The takeaway delivery since we are available. Book now. Enter office in Tumunko. But you want to enjoy the beautiful meals from Oil Ridge Royal Hotel. Fre Ahume 0312 003222. Anna Fre 0501 672908. Or Second Ridge Cape Coast. Ridge Royal Hotel, richly inviting, comfortably yours. Damascene Nyame Yadumo China 1st of February. One night guest movie premiere. In Kroma Obene will premiere movies. Oh yeah, Yanin San Shadan Yane Fair. San Shadan can Yane share in the premiering of movies. By this time round, Yanin San can share. And for the lovers of movies in Cape Coast, get ready for an unforgettable cinema experience. Moving isn't it one night guest. One night guest. Obe premiere Nyame Yadomo China 1st February Ewo Oye School of Medical Sciences SMS Auditorium. For a night of excitement, drama, and entertainment. Tickets in here 80 Ghana cedis for single and 150 Ghana cedis for double. But from Hume, a friend of mine, first 20 callers or yaza tickets in Robert Sodamo one cry 0248 46 9272. Miss Dubio 0248 46 9272. Now book another 100 Ghana cedis. But Kastle 90.3 yani front desk. Na ane the mood Mr. Bernardo go. Why you double no two? Miss A akwai. Oh yeah, you come movie night. Hey. How you home? How you home? Night. And Wabomobi. Na waso enyi won kanchima o guest another wonyon kubi wonya no akwakobo nenyi akohoma elho. But high sense men kancho the 2025 oguda wo mo official pa. The wire of 2025 new year. On into one showrooms across the country, all the 16 regions. One showroom ni we base out to among. What electronic appliances in now no ebenye bi at on electricity in Kanzian. One electronic appliances ranging from smartphone, sound system, television, refrigerators, air conditioners, chada eneme pebiano ko high sense one showroom ebenye bina ato 255-0000. High sense everyday prices for everyday people. Betway get way more. Betway semen control there. Any dana any answer Champions League na European League no. European League no e wana. In fact, what call Oyefike Simono? Okotokumo Bobby Opa. So with Betway, you are never a loser. Betway, get way more. Bet responsibly. I'm telling you, in Mokua. and area bri oruso nasen ema yezi jumezi yezi abro. Once again, aha your number one political and current affair program memano hodo ono ena yezere bro. For message in 0244743143 0244743143 0244743143 Papa do Fabra na yenzin komo ewa ha Now His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Wakasa now enwana warrior illegal mining in Nyano wa command the security agencies to go after them. Has it shown commitment in fighting Galamsey and so Mahama cracks down on Galamsey, order arrests and prosecution of illegal miners. Na yenyin oyenkofu bia omani onyoni kejina court efan oye purportedly causing financial loss to the states. And some other cases are stating they're interested in. Maybe the current finance minister, Honorable Dr. Kastle 90.3, and the new case Attorney General where you free court. Former Cocoa Board CEO Oro Opuni on oil fertilizer issues. Case no away.
So baby, Ghana, na Ghana beyo, erinye yo efremi nwaro. Ghana ya sase batana. Nyamieshira no da wamano niema penyi nara na wamanodo eya sase batana empe oku eji ahobu eni na dikwe wiase asumbiye enti aseme na use yesum Ghana yiye anya sape da chinchiri
enti oninyi nsemi orokodo eyabri we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to discuss. Now, PN Africa and Pan African and Wakache, the Speaker of Parliament, that all hold those responsible for chaos accountable. For the chaos accountable. Meaning, I ended as Okodo, Ewo Oye Vetinasi Parliament House. Za Okodono during the vetting process, the chaos and I was won't hold those involved accountable. Won't hold one accountable. Now, me who post to be obisi. Time you go school no. We go. What's about 3? Enti table ya webuni and our botana and I want to. Yabeti Commander Nuruddin Kobne Isa. Yabeti Ninka. Yamasuna to some. Yabeti Ninka.
Yes, I mean, yes, I'm gonna ye. And yes, I bet that about the way for.
Currently, the veteran of oil. Where we are veteran.
Mama woman swear. Mama ye febia kuye ni odo e fansumi ye many. Now many ye yakasara ja.
Okay, so my minion kote interviews kakra. Mama yonko ewo vetinasi ne yenkote interviews kakra yewia ena yaba so mpemfo ne tinasa ena yezi nkomo nti yen switch over na yenkote nkomo ahoro a orokodo some interviews bia orokodo eho me kawo da high Kastle 90.3 misi emo update of za orokodo ni nyina abegwafo no nso ba obetinasa ena nso yezi nkomo ewo aha yes nti interviews ni crowd a yeboko na ekwekuti interviews ni bi ewo Parliament House vetina okrodo Honorable Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa MP for Nocton constituency no a minister designate for Foreign Affairs Ministry in the vetina okrodo ewo ho ehwa vetina in fact the questions ni koyi nyano no su koyi ewo ho
wamano niema penyi nala na wamanodo eya sase batana empe oku eji ahobu eni na bikwe bi ase asumbiye enti asemena ose yesu gana yiye anya sapa da chinchiriba baba be mu yemfo minia susu yeyo ayeyo ekwe no ara susu bebe kabi wabuaga now many ye yankasara japadea
coming in the vetting committee in the way these matters have been done.
All right, so wasana batuna sibiwa vetting wonwi awokakra yes bro me call the high Kastle 90.3 high Kastle 90.3 FM
minia susu bebe baby wabuagana nagana beyo ayeyo ekwe no ara susu bebe baby wabuagana nagana beyo ekwe no ara mangana adeshe mama mama mumene soe mama ye fe bia ku ye ni odo enfanso mi meni na o meni ye yankasara japadea ya nana no di abebrese gede to maye enti asemena use yesu gana yiye anya sabe da chinchiriba baba be mu yemfo minia susu brebe baby wabuagana nagana beyo eyeyo efemi noara susu brebe baby wabuagana nagana beyo eyeyo efemi noara batana yamieshira no da wamano niema penyi nala na wamanodo eyasa.
All right, so me switch over na yenkwete oye responses ne kakra mabi gwafo no over na yenkwete oye responses ne kakra mabi gwafo no watnasa na yansa ne aba na yezi inkomo ene yabeti ora Nuruddin Kobna Yisa damaso na atusam wonenka on this very show. Now is in Como Friday edition.
Conduct in this affair quite problematic. In opposition, he was vehemently opposed to single sourcing, and he did put out consistently posts that single sourcing.
The vice president.
Yes, the former vice president. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, who says that he is the drip champion. He says this whole drip thing is his idea. That's what he told the country. And he indeed asked all those who were trying to take credit, including members of parliament, to back off, that it is his idea. In the course of my oversight work, I found his conduct not consistent with what he promised the people of this country, that he will make sure that projects are competitive, that sole sourcing, inflationary pricing will be a thing of the past. It is regrettable, to say the least, that he was not consistent. And when he had the opportunity with this, his flagship DRIP initiative, he departed from what he assured the nation he will do as vice president. So those are the concerns that I have about DRIP, and I am hoping that Ghana will be able to retrieve some money. Fortunately, only 25% has been paid. Not all the liabilities have been met. So I have encouraged the new Mahama administration to renegotiate the DRIP initiative so that we can save money, because my conservative estimate is that it's been inflated by more than $100 million, and there is a need to save money. $100 million can do so much for an IMF bailout country. There's so much that we can do with $100 million, and I'll encourage my colleague, the Honorable Asifwa, to get close to me. I can share some of the work we have done on this with you, and when you see yourself, I'm sure you'll become an advocate. You'll join me that we should renegotiate the DRIP intervention.
Thank you very much.
I have a follow-up question.
You have a follow-up on the $84 billion, as you said, that he is saying it is 18 billion cities, and the DRIP.
The follow-up stems from the fact that, one, he indicates that the pricing, now, he said he has done some work, and I have also done some work, and I'm happy to share that with you.
They have a different regime.
Honorable nominee, in my hands here is the contract itself, and maybe I'll go into specifics. Government bought a tipper truck for $78,000 plated. Now the big question is, now I will take you to Zonda. Zonda is one of the well-noted agencies who sells tipper trucks.
Honorable Asafwa, with all due respect,
my question
he said he has done some work,
and he said it's
and you have done some work.
Yes.
Now, the amount being outrageous was based on the assessment of the work that he has done, but not your own. So the way you are going about the question, that is what is calling for worry.
Honorable
because
Chairman,
the work that you have done is not the same as the work that he has done.
Honorable Chairman,
your indicators may not be the same as his indicators.
Respectfully, I am saying that in the contract, government bought a tipper truck for $78,000. I am also referring the honorable nominee to Zonda, an agency that deals in tipper truck. When you go to Zonda today, Zonda sells a tipper truck for about $82,000 or $83,000. And government bought a tipper truck for $78,000. With this background, how do you term this as outrageously inflated contract? Because I don't see it.
Well, I don't know whether Zonda is the cheapest in the world, but I would ask the nominee to provide the question.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, clearly, as for this work he has done, with all due respect, it leaves much to be desired. For Zonda's trucks, they pay duties. You imported your trucks free of duties. I'm DACF administrator. Did you pay duties on the trucks? They said no. Zonda is importing their trucks, paying duties. So of course, you are not. I keep talking about comparing apples with pepper, and it has to stop. Then when you talk about we bought tipper truck, respect the oversimplification of matters. It's not helpful, and I am willing and ready to submit the work that we did. I say procurement breaches, no value for money, and you should stop comparing vehicles that have been imported with duty and those that you are buying without paying duties. It's not helpful.
Thank you very much. The questioner said he is also involved. Are you involved?
The contract between indicators of respect. Chairman, please let me be.
Recognize Honorable Shaibu.
You included.
Chairman, let me thank you very much for the opportunity.
There is an aspect of
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, my good brother, who supplies me smokes.
So a well-deserved nomination.
I wish you very well in this new role.
Let's move away from this corruption, oral, and whatever, and get to Pan-Africanism, so that you can cool down a bit.
Now, with that 170,
a movement that has come to stay, a movement that has taken the whole world. I note that in the last 2 hours, you have mentioned Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Tell us briefly, don't go to your involvement. What's your motivation on Pan-Africanism? Thank you.
Pan-Africanism is the only way the African continent can be liberated. As the Osage Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said,
Thank you very much. We'll take a short break.
Nobody will care about our fortunes and our destinies more than ourselves. The reason why we are the most endowed continent in terms of resources and yet have not taken control of our own path, not to be pawns, not to engage in proxy wars with others. That is the key to our emancipation and our liberation. And I see in President Mahama a leader who believes in Pan-Africanism. And if you look at his priority areas, even the first countries he has visited, as president, he's yet to go to Europe or Asia. His priorities are and how he remains committed to the Pan-African agenda. And to conclude practically, I think that we should take a second look at our negotiation skills and abilities as a people. And it's one area that I'll be seeking the assistance of experts to beef up capacity at the foreign ministry. You look at a lot of agreements that we get into, and it's clear that we could have gotten a better deal if we had really put Pan-Africanism at the center, looked at the continent's interests, and subjected all other secondary interests, out of the window. We can then get better. And I don't want to go into specifics because of how sensitive these matters are, but really at the core of our retarded development is the fact that we have not really imbibed, the philosophy of Pan-Africanism as the likes of Du Bois, Kwame Nkrumah, Padmore, and others espouse. And I think that the time, to genuine Pan-Africanism.
Thank you very much. Any further question? Then I proceed to give the floor to Honorable Jerry Shai.
Very well done. Before asking the question, I've made an observation. I just want to run by you. First of all, I've watched you as I preached you. The process is started itself. My observation was that you were a bit upset, and throughout the vetting process, you also used a word like, I don't give a hoot, which I do not think that for a diplomat you should. Now, Russia currently has presence in the region, in the region. And the strategies Russia use include the social media propaganda and cyber terrorism. Several media houses have reported cyber attacks to their online portals, which were traced to Russia origin, What's Ghana's foreign policy in reference to Russia wanting to have regional control or influence? And especially against the backdrop that my foreign minister nominee has been in Russia recently to help His Excellency the President launch a book on my first coup d'etat. Several media houses have reported.
Well, thank you very much. And your foreign minister nominee has also been to the United States recently, has been to France recently, has been to the United Kingdom recently, and has been to Ukraine recently. So let's place all of that on record. And I would like to proceed with caution that I do not think that, looking at how sensitive this role is and how, our foreign policy, which enjoins us to pursue positive neutrality, your foreign minister nominee to be friends of all and enemies to none. I do not want to single out any country in this engagement for condemnation for obvious reasons. I mean, responding to a question, so I would plead that, Mr. Chairman, you permit me to stay away from condemning specific countries. If you want enemies,
that is my foreign minister nominee and nominee condemnation, and it has to do with the third-class treatment. We are made to pay high fares, plane fare. We are given terminals that are virtually unused or abandoned, and in fact, we are even served food on planes which one can easily decline taking those. It's the foreign minister nominee. Any assurances as to how you are going to ensure that vis-a-vis what the Nigerians use, what the South Africans use, you are going to have Ghanaians use get similar treatment? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, honourable member, for this question, and it's a very important matter. And you will recall, if you go through the Hansard, you will see that this is a matter that I have raised on a number of occasions, and it's a matter we have to address as a country. And it comes back to the earlier point I was making: our negotiation skills, our negotiation abilities. These airline operators are not doing us favors. They are here for business, to make profit. It's a commercial entity, and it has to be a win-win situation. You see other countries demanding high standards, even the fleet, the quality of the service.
All right, we say I have an say. You bezin komo me din kana ka cho de end the show no oye sonko kra end the show no oye sonko nti anka to atena se Mahomes political and current affair program in the whole central and western regions. Me man hodo and a yatina no. We are streaming live on Facebook, Kastle 90.3 FM, YouTube. You streaming live on it. Leave your comment. For commenting bra, for commenting for bra. Like the page, share, na like. Yes, like the page, share. Na yentum na yenko yenenyim. Text message in a WhatsApp line, so you're very much active. 0244-743-143. Let's get interactive. Interact on WhatsApp and afi text message and afi on the social media and so interact. Agato. Akwaba. Meji de bibi aboko. Bi efina me. Boko. All right. But minimum that vetting follow pa from 50 time or starting busy in the busy in the event our kodo and then in one hour queen and how do you see?
Yo be das man zinkan me chia. Obi biara o take Kastle FM. Obi a George my bro. Me anyane nyina na ma sheda ma hwe and I don't may follow, but after that, sometimes our media landscape and another one sites was about, especially interesting aspect of answers in our web and
But my for the information in Dr. Ernest Addison, now wait for as governor of the Bank of Ghana, a new Waba, President Mahama, will nominate Dr. Johnson Isiama as Bank of Ghana governor. And see, Ghana by the. I got to include him.
Some Americano, and yet Nina made to my 80 another market, but normally, or your exceptions in Muyama, a picking or your media on one site. I'm a country more interested in the answers. I was a man, as you know. And I'm here. So far, so good. Just that any the most is unfortunate. But vetting no normal at but there's a procedure what the vetting and clearly you see minority and majority not will compromise. Especially I'm Mr. John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. Perform our perform and will be uncle to Daba and say or there were advertised and sign them nipa kono vetting. Mebo said them 14 days no 1 year. Public no Emma. So any information on the nominee about my track or the vetting committee.
Okay.
3 weeks ago and I went 3 weeks.
On the 17th I was swearing in and the 31st.
Almost only 1 month.
Yeah.
So it tells the nomination the first one but no order go 3 weeks. I thought I was starting first nomination away no. But we bring in a good. No, compare. Just make sure the Zamako intent tema. Over to me that vetted them nominees no. Inti so far answers in a woman no. Oh yeah. See, Obeka Jode, they drop the ground. Asam na kan no yati. But no you know. Our benefit Ghana for no. Unknown here, but people they were evading, especially the campaign promises in our manifesto. And sometimes, you know, let's pray John Mama and answer them work to the public. As I said, Ubisa or yet nominated the day now. President John Dramani Mahama King. See, Obe executed the moon as summer Okena, and they start when they evade the question. Typical example.
What invade the question, you know?
Of course, typical example is on. I want to catch Ghana for the. About make sure that Obiara or your mining or your forest reserve your working license. I'll be a mining will be, but we'll be sa when I'm a boy now. On your environmental
lands and natural resources.
I want to know invade. As a question and see the thing is will be some question I going to
but president is about order in the yard and when I warrior illegal mining in Yinano they need to be arrested and prosecuted.
And I'm the first one also my a critical catch and my amnesty. Emma said the motion or share and I'm a walk.
Yeah.
Then one true galamsey. Watch you want to go to me now, but my amnesty now wage one more than we pay. I thought today all media and so was also repeated them no be. Minim say why I don't know one media no what track them and some no, but me sure the why. So I am carrying in I had yeah, it's a Bible that the reality is catching up to him. That is why he okay.
How?
Because clearly you see Obi committee sinner. And you see that one was the campaign promise just to trick them for their vote. So prisoners, what waba? And time may in prison for doing galam say no be so to abanam moba. Make sure they may you if which one will you vote for?
You may from
clearly, I mean common sense will tell you that. And so that was the campaign promise of the year. But as we speak right now, no, still what's going on there? One prosecute one. No prosecuting or finding guilty and your prisoner on your go. And I'm saying the reality is catching up with him because I'm a galam saying now and politics, you know. It doesn't sound well and clearly measures now, it seems like the old measures here they fight. I'm a message the Galamsey now here pay fighting serious now. The communities know what to go to Honum should own it and fight it. Satimasi. Because if you or your one sassy and I was a child, or you one out a ben in the moon soon was a child. Say you all your kind. But I'm not the more community no and the more town and the chiefs involved in that will be very difficult. Because any to soldier for a police go bushing 24/7 and other be aware illegal man 24/7. It's impossible. Until I'm a democrat part of it, then we can solve that problem or minimize it. But as for prosecution and arrest and prosecute illegal galamsey yesterday, it's honestly because the last time when I checked, illegal miners are now war court.
400 cases.
Yes, 400. When I work court them no, they are about 800.
Okay.
Now, successfully work them now, we're more than 800. And we'll be starting a question now. I want to ask some the minister nominee for environment, lands and natural resources and environment, told us that especially when I walk on site on your campaigns, they will be looking for the campaigns, especially when I site near ones that. But site or mining illegal mining in Galamsey, any papers, others are, and other any license to mine. But there be Adam, be an Pacon mine, or you be a big, because they thought about machines excavated and Zamana will use no. One hour the major man afford, they cannot afford it. So the big men, another 1 hour what them scan. And what are the machines for them 1 hour? So they will be looking for those people to prosecute. I hope them no obey above. But clearly, I'm for bad I work at one of the MPs, You see?
It's our win MP,
yes.
But he has also denied categorically that Onyaza is involved in these Galamsey issues.
I'm glad they want. So be denier, it tells you that fine, Paconas on your demands now. But Echo Food, are they doing it? Yes or no? So you do investigations about it to find out the truth. And I'm over. So you to catch them there. Of course, we deny into any investigation. They have to do it. But the most important thing in there, if we think like only one political party can solve all your Galamsey problems, it's a lie. Because if, say, the MPP want to pay the NDC back their own coin, and somehow walk catch them for there, one what by more why Galamsey money, you can't. On your feet, and I'm the most important thing is help so that the situation and land degradation and water bodies are worse in there. You know, you to myself. And about critical, dancing in Sumbana, say, you want to always cannot. Come on. Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll go share banner. Okay. And see, about the task, this politicizing of Galamsey and all hard. And to them, last time we be better than half who same Pebrano and 500 excavators are you, I mean, quite clear accusam. Now this should be easy our power so. And why are we in there?
I said that issue, I pulled the report and I mechanic that aspect, that this is what was contained.
But he was trying to be smart and telling people the evidence report about the report, which turned out to be false. So in America they say, politicizing them now, that is not the problem. Let's deal with it holistically. In America, I mean, like the way they prefer solutions, let the community own it. When they prevent people, and him should be part of it. They work there. If new license will be released, I am going to be part of it because I don't get there. As I saw, well, go to her. Every time there will be the license if you have crab there, never mind. Without the knowledge of the chiefs and everybody, it's not proper. But that's how the system has been since whenever yes, I can answer or the reform because I'm telling you, no matter what Tebekano, share go there, and especially about the mining now because they get a lot of money. Ebeka share there, Uncle Yejuma Fufu. Especially when I said you want this skill, a different skill. Ebia one cool school in reach you. Another to them all. A catcher no go suya bibi fufu. Our be ending if I dey be 800,000 Ghana and Amazon. Maza or a peanuts man. Was always so good who go the water now. It's huge. Said to Masi. It's how to convince people and to mine properly. Yes, such a one, as you know. But actually, Lands Commission now, and I'm a Nurse Commissioner. What I'm running in a work one of their for their mine or water body for most meters. But Benyas wasn't for us, you Champagne, maybe Champagne or importer. So importer, hard yes. But I got to Champagne the Washington or today was woo. Or other Washington, because I'm there about to do what or bet it. But it's young Ghana free younger son your order. No, I shall come on, you go sooner do. Meanwhile, what's even around the water body, may mind, but Ben you be a last why it's in. And as also, you should not do. No, mine will do. The policy, every time I'm marketed, shoot to kill, especially in Sunu Nodoba. Because I to catch him down.
Still, I insist shoot to kill.
Now we're poison Sunam Konam crack. Now you scat be there. Our poison, doctor said, me because of that, is one of our Bendemeria Hono. Babies are all honor. One deformation of a basis, one see one lungs and no might have effect on you. But immediately, or a wunka crack. Wuna kanyanko ponza mo de be yes no obi nisika penti na hia mo wetru ni hu. You see, or they take drastic action to stop people from doing that. Because I then even we prosecute you now. Oh yeah, no don't go for first now. What should they illegal mining now I find at myself. Prison said there's no or is a 3 months or something. Recently I will raise you call them 5 years, 10 years and no come. Because I can't in a court to 3 years and I find at all. Obey them is going to be a name. But assassin or said, soon or said, Indian or Tregu nor such child. And see, ya kade good is young upon us man, but a quana year for this year to know. On the such an assassin, nay, and find a proper way. Or mind them good and that. Say you governments can also have its share. Now individuals or mine and a galamsey say what on good and that. How do government get its shares? Unless they be at the small scale miners, not Bank of Ghana, what to go before, but them even illegal miners say can galamsey. So one when you want to know what what's on a tax to your man. But when your income, and I'm a boy, but don't you have to know. We are not going to catch up and there. A corner of what I say, you should not say, drop his roof. What talk on was a child. And see, as I'm a president, your mama king, or your worker, or that will make sure that when I'm on okay, especially that by the police, in a military, and you get them arrest, you did chase one up and now. We have been doing this consistently, but I think we are not achieving the results. And I told him you achieve the results. Because at that time, I had the same process in the H1 year prosecutor. They are still going there to do that.
So, as at September 2024, per the record and the information, I say 76 people had been convicted of illegal mining in Ghana since August 2021, and more than 850 were facing trial.
Okay, I'm done now. Figures 800 and okay.
50 are still facing trial.
Look at this number, huge. And see, the mechanism. Why is it that what do go for Jina court? So that to deter people, Madam Banano, Obusum Koye. Numbers are 800 plus. Ujina court is a yakasayo. But still, I will call for your galamsey. Because you are not scared. Esha, be proud to be your Facebook than other WhatsApp audio. No shabam penia roba. No catch the original how your galamsey or not to good. And you be. No, we are so I shabam penia roba. Come on. No, kono ake mobile. There, and yan son sem na was here. Or a difficult task. Now, Mr. say, if you and I am more, typically and especially at the mining areas now or on the communities in order to work. That was in here. In two and trusting part, you're more than it.
But your government introduced an airline or allow people to mine in forests. I mean, if you fight this illegal mining, now introduce another form of airline, allowing people to enter into the forest zone to mine. The fight against galamsey on your group in a year on your lip service, keke.
No, make it. See, a true time and Sasson good Anamwa. So be careful, come mine in the forest. What catching the ABC do? And all my license no airline.
But these are the forests what the watcher.
In America, they say, I go good, the monk of no a forest or mine. This big in our concessions, I was more in our no a forest. No mine. As some America in there, what did she say? Yeah, there, say, mine your heart, land on the yard in there, Catado Anamwa. If we are making sure the Indian the order, another and bet in the Mazano. These people no want more license. Men ka galamsey for no license no. After dimension share wire. On the able say home.
On you honestly be may take advantage why enter into our forest reserves or send your mako.
As one make there, them airline no. What you no e beja or your license was born. On your friend then galam just say difference between galamsey only license only if you are old too. And it will be all license old too. Na inshishenda woze guho na odo dzidu no onye dene onzido anamboa na makada dem shishe na oho de I remember them Elia we introduce you know they wanted to even revoke it them parliament say here yanko yanko the time years ago to about
that was the 8th parliament.
Yes, 8th parliament opened with Bastel. And I think that them 9 parliament they will revoke that like friend in airline now. It will be better. And I make it today. One of the President Obama take advantage there. Will be or mine or a forest reserve and a forest to be a revoke the license, you know. And that's what she will oppose that. Because Obi hit a license or a genuine. A revoke now. Or you know what me quarter. Honestly, than some people about or a genuine license. I make it the most important thing there. They ask better practice. Some countries one minor. The more pollution of water and the destruction of forest and them only ho anamwa. Why can't we copy that bad practices? Damage is but the zero. And a supervisors now order will supervise there them sites here especially yes as concession them mining a year ABCD no my yes etu eguzidi we are no aya katado dia another dia mbe another something on it oboboama land no was answer regain back no aya the man special or they won crofo many one bosum so waja akutua or the wash the way but onye ndi the man crofo no ya ya beden hu de aya ABCD etu ewie adan nam amona na jo na ko awan fail awan ya na hwe which punishments no yede yes especially when abandon more licenses to mine in sharing patch there say mine we are them dwumezi no data make sure the reclamation of the land no aye but enye you could follow up so that we can sanction those people won't di kwana or the say miner and mining pepepe and say assassin no pan in sunu za say sunu dia some meters was men ben ho anamboa on or clear was men ben ho sunu men ben ho nso no brand wo ho na men ben ho e kro no wa there no mo ko gire sunu no ma mine Ben who if the was why is an and see more than yensi. Or there they be of any champagne, adequate to mine. I mean, it's not proper. See, America there, responsible mining, but a jar nipa, don't yet more bayanas and brains age, and make sure that you put him to taxa. More pedo there. Oh, yeah. I hope that I not just arrest the pedo over here, but the means that we saw, or to make sure the reclamation of those lands now, or there. And one now why proper mining another way. As for galamsey fruits or illegal, and you too many licenses. So was much, but 1 hour more licenses, or the wajan zama, no quando shed the air mining papa no. One force one, no 1 year mining papa or butum idene. Wabwagana man now, what prevents an assassin from degrading. Na yen sunusa was more cohonoso, more.
The approach as a nation, they fight these illegal mining activities. Yebenya Operation Hot, Operation Galam Stop, 2 whatsoever. Do you think that it's about time, yes, it's the approach, and that we should maintain the old approach, they fight the Galam?
I used to the same old system that say the result or there's this approach, One suggestion I'm hearing the community should own those things to themselves. Say you, but na make it into my country there 1 more license one cram. At time licenses that's I call. Oh yeah, this is assembly will baby. Now na catch in the the more assassi. What's a good word in the member and my mind. Without the community and the chiefs not aware of it, the best is involve the chiefs and the community. And then the baby and we are telling and policies, but the suggestion Dr. Bamu making there before even a license, the chief should be involved. So that everybody when they are coming away then 1 more license into them assassins never mind. And the community also should be part so that every miner and Zamana was out of 20 ABC on Macano. I and Pepe. My concession assassin. I had a sorry banner, but no was lands now on alcohol. Say, normal, the young far soldier for young far police for young fan chase one all the time. And I'm saying, I understand, right? Yes, we are not still getting a result, but people want to make it there. Because still, I think that each one away illegal mining, as one quarter now, whole jail one is to prevent another. I'm a boom behind the Makaya the moon as in watch ma when you make a carry. I could fear it, but still people are doing it. It tells you there, Sikasam or high. It's the most important thing there. Rather than your bed, you make sure that I didn't warrior our license. And papa, no canado. And Sassina say no ACC. Ama Sebio community no say when there, they know it. Or many there say. A command will be a assassin war. Mamfabia keep close her, second because I hear Galam say, mine or her. Now, but when I say, Grandma him or him there, maybe if you was a command or her there, I am proper. But the people are war around on the Grandma him get it out, come on, Oma, them to see licenses because of Banasa assassin. People of Cape Coast in there you pay in a while, but we're introducing one to Wama him or you're mining. Even people know around in Cape Coast and say, on to move for 1 year now, but for few. But all about reclamation of the land now. Or they make sure that the land and why then we too much in here. Why in the former in the no would you fine or you embed about the order with you so that you to make reclaim land in the back. Now you and Sherman said you and get a combine to or you back anymore. That be so the people of area now mining and the chief should be involved. Rather than every time they are to them, I use them soldiers. Soldier for is about like, yeah, what tata illegal miners. No, you actually want to prosecute because that's what your mama is saying. But I'm saying, no, you're on the pay. There's a lot out there, and or you're serious because the Mazina can there. Gold business, no, or you're sick, or you're huge. And it will be cocaine business. No matter whatever. You can minimize it, but you cannot stop it. Because Obia Nusuman are different. Certainly, Obia Nusuman is different. And our wife in there be a law abiding citizen in Zimbabwe. This why not you know Zimbabwe. The share need make sure that you the men zaman they will go apart from them you arrest one and prosecute one. You share once I was share ya mo license papa no. Nsaase na wo say no. I'm brand new sketch on this to make sure that assassin no. Every claim land on a cover aye bibiano once wide in why amanzama kodo. And typically all that say oh why the woman because no matter what the gold no go for the to because Oscar wom am on licenses are work on illegal am on licenses are go 2 years I had no how you know am on licenses no go 2 years are nzama other wo yema you claim assassin so 1 year and see to make sure the message them problems they are solved no you have to enforce those laws true. We have supervisors who supervisor the manzamana to the over site over there. Mine in there, no campado, and there yana. Was no sir. Kwamina, what your uncle? So why are they not doing it?
That is EPA now, or yeah.
Whatever it is, one or one now.
Minerals Commission, those people.
You know, what one of all was the Benjamin. Said to myself, and yeah, patriotic. You see, sometimes I wonder what kind of politicians are corrupt. About kind of them coffee. That woman friends for. Because why come your site now? One more scam and master. Why if you be correct? Why don't they now call? Which not we out there in a year court. And once now, I didn't make sure there the man. But the most important thing, the whether arrest, because you arrest, you prosecute, we are not achieving the result. Or there are other alternatives of the man. You able to make it, yeah. Now you're done minimizing, but you're able to answer crazy. Amazing, I mean, she said, able to my hair, but to minimize is able to my hair more.
Do you agree with the minister, the Yenya water guide? Because during the vetting, I suggested also in your water guide.
I can't remember some people were trained to do that. Today, one of them swimming and them Azano. Can they be there 24/7? You see, it's a whole lot. And I'm saying the men's army and I plan. It can be some of the measure able to that fight the Mangalams.
The drones now that what they be to monitor. The drones in our way.
I can't answer for that because I don't know. Man can't the ministerial committee no see. I don't know.
But I say you aware there.
Oh, so aware there.
Drones.
You know, aware that they will be using drones to monitor. I'm saying aware baby because we need information. Certain mass, you know, if I have the information, I will provide it. But I'm saying the more like one like we train one. I quite remember some number we train to make sure that the moons no alcohol as well. But my guy, the most important thing there, Messi, the more galamsey and semi on your back of the fight. Or they hang in our boy. On your NDC no power in term what Nanga cancer moon heart, Dabi. We will not save you, army, men responsible, another Mancasa anyhow. Because in Americano, gradually, if you be a baby, war saying, you know, the distance no from what no. On Beno, but the do when the not some no banner Ghana water or pump was more no matter what. Say pure water pump another bottled water then no more. Nancy pure water by Bibia about a standard board now, but it need be pure in a fee and you can be affected. And see a one already then a so that we can all help on a jam back of it. Oh, yeah.
I got 2 minutes. Commander.
Yes, sir.
Akwaba.
Yeah.
Bibi abokozi.
Yanko point then you back. Adachi.
Hey, Commander no ya grow. Oh yes, yes, your prime yeah. I didn't see that demand, but not demand with the Runyajipa. Commander, so far, me there vetting follow you interested. Or vetting, or then even then the approach, the process, responses.
Well, Mamincha, I'm conqueror, what say, would you mazi? Mobi a journalist for one dish also when Jimmy Yado. My bantam. Now, question ya, Omongo from had the Pelcon bantam. But the truth is that vetting no purpose. But back at them, my year witness is CCI on no oil was say kakra. Nti me jizi pa there. I mean, I have followed it. Man sha me tell my soul. Me tell my soul my cat no hobby. A witness. Nti for me there at least there by this time I say every institution and organization be a my one hot heads. Na you the cool ones. And I won't pay in for so watching a chill so. I believe that by this time or there, say if an interest your man can puntuza something need to be done, although being ibinuma kasa. I also have the opinion there there vetting will outlive no usefulness. So maybe we need to adopt another approach. So I wouldn't say president in a pedal here. Minister, the mean panel there. Our parliament was in the credentials, everything I call. So that Sodo Baba represent to another can be on behalf of the government. Mpakona nye my parliament. Then so obi wo problem bi wo mpakona ho. Our constitution has provided for the nzama hrowa where you are aggrieved. One of them there you go to court. You can as well use the Parliament Privileges Committee. You can also use the Assurance Committee. In this case, they can even request there. Why is it be a your vision for the ministry now was awkward? Fabra. Because when it comes to implementation, mostly, only the manifesto of the party. If you have followed it. Obi a wife be out that no real no be said there, yeah, quite him. But this one's our way to the so be so there, apart from any other source of income, and then means to be at the support to Abrabo. Next there, we're not support to. No be so there. Now we're no support to another man with your tax. What is the logic? Nyanso woman here. At the vetting. A minister. Because one of the requirements is that even as parliamentarian, or they make sure that what tax obligations are in so the law is that you have made sufficient arrangement with the collectors. Because of this in 2020 them. But say you catch them there. If it's a no contribution of the manukun, which have one tax. My lawyer or in our parliament, vetting do not ye the Madiana Yakana Yaba. Share ended that virtually in the Demiano or tell what any vetting to a cinema hall and also there movie center that you go and hit the answer there while they use it. As what Boko Heavy uses or a movie and I
your movie over premiere, I'm watching now.
I say why today we keep premiere movie. Nti imponent no a series. Another one now was anyway video which has to do with something that I have done in the course of my work. But mama yana a premiere what is the relevance to the office that I seek to occupy? In fact, minim na baby I would do ya Papa Kuya was working kitchen there, micro minority also on Tassi. Finally, man, no so back and forth. Time we were about to say you shouldn't.
I don't pray.
Yeah, you shouldn't be silly. Ended that on nearly the region in general. The leader was right on his right hand side. No man, no this is table now. Subject to fetch. I want MPs now. What I want. What is this? I am totally disgusted about the whole. I've been thinking, MPs are they not all Ghanaians? You want to work as a business there? Now, my business be I wouldn't have to more. If you do all these things behind scenes, or the scenes, then you seek to destroy the main partner whilst in your business you have relations with. What kind of system is that? And when they Ghana, you be out to be a no. A course good. Martin knows what's there or no videos I will be. Yeah, videos here. What I have said. Some actions are maybe a maye in the course of maybe a maye baby. If you think that the Martin and Mayan occupying this position, ma what find a conflict of interest into because of that entity or that ezibuma, you can do that. But video could be a Sam George and video could be a was a bay. Coalition Center. Then there were some misunderstanding. He was not fighting. He was not shouting. You cannot even pick what he was saying. But when you try there, no you'll be saying there. What was his role? No. Okay, Katina. Rage one or Katina. No, we're appointing as regional election commission another election director. But he was there. This man. Yeah.
So I believe the vetting process and how vetting no. Yes, system.
No, you see that is
and I scrap the vetting process in the crowd.
Oh, two things. Either there you be piano to because my year witness in CCI, either people are bent. There you have done something against me. You have done something against my group. Because minority leader, if you open your mouth openly to say there, we don't have problem with you. And when are you there to settle personal scores? What is happening? I was any problem with you.
It means that I will be no matter.
It's a bit no problem. And indeed, Okatina, Channel 1 TV, permit me to say that one. You know, I say that in pay by Sebi or no, they have taken this. Then the host asks, they've not appeared before you. I say, I'm a minority leader. You don't know the information I have. These are predetermined and preconceived mindset against the person coming. For that, you are vetting the person in the interest of the Republic of Ghana. You are vetting the person because you think that you want to find out from him whether a Juma or Botumaya known to me. But it's Emma, the personal hatred. About what can say him? About your witness vetting. And I said it somewhere. Parliamentarians were 3 ways or tools. Was a register when a protest. One of them, on either were bank tables. You cannot continue to bank the moment the speaker says order. Speaker not done, it comes to the leadership. So the leadership will have to signal to normally the man of the backbenchers. Until they will have to signal to them. The moment order. You can as well go in with what we call the motion. The ABR set decisions and maybe why you are not comfortable with it. That is also what parliamentary. One of the tools no so use obianyim de ono mpoza na no ochada abofra bi anyim only the walkout. In 2009 or 2013, let me use 2013, there was a walkout. In fact, that walkout when were vetting committee do not on the first time. Because we are not comfortable with what is happening. I wasn't able with him there. You are telling Ghanaians that won't work out that. Name you will be rowdy. Aba Samisi, Asamosi are in there. Also there, we agree there woba veti impa 4 then we na was impa kweka ho into wire 5 now one question no I would the person leading it one question it be some questions over 3 hours aba number kuno okay you will find the World Bank country director and the World Bank director in John Bobo vet in 3 hours. So you have consumed the time. And you can't be there, what's it? You can never eat your cake and have it. How do you consume the time? Waste all the time. But although as it all legitimate, you know, there now, as that's and then to me. And because of that, Sami my brain moon to me ya. Or tenunku or do pillow. Or there you say as it. Now the pay for you when I'm home. Now what say as that? School from my say as on what you gonna see? Yes, man.
Commander.
Was a son of a veteran, Madam, there, one when constitution and Casa.
No, once
no winning in view.
Okay.
Sadamia Biaza on winning in view because they are there to settle scores. Here, we be a black one easy away. Look at questions, sir. Vincent Asamfwa. Asafwa. Oh, Kakumu the news are me finished. Vincent Asafwa. Look at the questions, Obisa. And the nominee will admit this is a very important question. There's one from another gentleman, MP, from the MPP side, minority side. Obisa question, he admits also this is a very good question. But Wabaya, all these important policy-related issues. Yeriana Yabade, Yababo video. The video no budget time in meanwhile, you know that as at Wednesday, you insisted that because of Vaka Vamawo, Baka Vamawo, Naza YNT, one for them, that took you people almost 2 or more than 2 hours. Na MSC impact crowd that veteran Wednesday. Na zana kaka Thursday ho. This Thursday na a shadow impact 3. Moziba kan wa dozen. Until when you do the calculation, the only additional ya we feed other was a come on a black. Then you come back and say because I paid in long 14 hours vetting of a black as a derby and yet. Today, look at the utterances of the minority leader. Clerk of Parliament, under instruction, I gave your TV in a young chairman said there she should administer. This is an instruction from the chairman. How do you take the lady on? In the Dobia when there, and send one someone lady do the kind of so or take the oath of the nominee. How can you say that? TV that would do. If we are not partner abanas there, and this is for the tax away. Then this is for one tax out. What side tables in? Were the tables and the mics not destroyed by the MPP minority? How do you then introduce the tax? It's unfortunate there. I'm Mumna Malkasa because Ghana for warhead. When you are all yeah. So my mom said, my bina, you van Kasam for.
Commander Meda say, but Yakasam for His Excellency, wa order and our command the arrests and then prosecution of illegal miners.
Well, me sure don't share any problem. Abeniano, we are in the formative stage. In other words, transition. Before what to Obama Henan, there was a burning issue. In fact, this burning issue that was on the banner, not the decision. Former President Akufo-Addo. Obianya hwehwe na ho awaze ho na pye. We change emra no oda Ghana ha. Fitim nananma bido the dadaw. That when it comes to prospecting or mining, one fan call forest reserves.
Kastle FM 90.3
But I'm repeating here. Fi all our mining laws and every law in Ghana that seeks to protect our forest baby I was there a forest reserve won kom nti abadan fa wabasen kwa nyinara obiara nhihye da mamrad there wobotu wa ma obi concession mama ya forest na ya reserve no. And in each of the forests, and when you are studying the forest and its biodiversity, no could be a reserve and ejumo oyama henodoso. One of them, onenye oma nkrofa watato habani ye ndur wa enter no when you home for so. Ono so bohen no oma hen fresh air. Until ye kabibi there when the last tree dies, the last man will also die. Obiara nyim adwena oba na Akufo-Addo na nkofo woni tirim. Then they decided to enact a law. Onenye LI 2464. Yes. Na butaya there. Obama nkofo kwan na wonko forest no mu wonko tunya eguzi. Meanwhile the forest reserve onye eguzi a ohyem no nkotin na ye peda ya preserve no. The whole of the ecological landscape of this forest. On the way then then you decided. In fact, by the time MPP what to be area welcome, or the what Ghana for sentia what the won't go to in the forest anymore. On year one. Nta beni biara orba after this serious issue. The man should be interested in Abakwana Eba Fada Damu LI 2464 no obefi ho. 1. 2. Nyane mayimi one more bia mining license, whether it is about prospecting or the mining itself. The onion wo insudo. But man can say minjo. Insuna yehu da wajina. This is my personal issue. I'm the obi ze fa mining community bi kaka na mu hune ma ye hu do sisi nsuno den na ma menyim pan there wood to gold nsuno mu not to knowing there aza wo ye there wood to gold na wo use nsuno mum na waze ye dan waze hohor nti nsuno so you cannot do anything that has to do with what mining wonsudo nti no so ya aza da ye den ye ho ejuma among for one hawker so crossing there. Every vehicle, so a excavator, so a car, or a truck, or abazo, each one of them is documented in Ghana. Echo DVLA. Machine be as a bokobia, they should be able to search and give it to you. In fact, Nkofo Konumpo a export to Fulana abaze. Echo be
importers, and I want to import the cars now.
Oh, it didn't could be wash a balloon. Echo DVLA war. Oh, is in Baba.
Okay.
And also, Krano, they have a data of every vehicle or machine that comes. Into so busy excavator rubber. That's all about Ghana, ha. And we cannot track what the excavator is doing. Or tell you about him, Haber. A question. Moto de bien. Cham fine on your Ghana machine. Chamfines are imported. Matna wejinadan on the Ghana for ya dan waye. But machine no oya kutu na what a wash as in they are imported when you're in Ghana. So if you baby no baby. So if we want to work, we should be able to track those things and stop them. Last week, Yawahana, one of the from award-winning journalists, Erastus Asayodonko. Oh yeah, post to be I man say, but I saw it on a platform video. There, say date was not clear, and now say be a man here. What circle some portions? No, say people belonging to the current administration. I want to go good at one say and Sasson. But tell you, my bow when chan, my young cassade or the yabo, Yanan Sasson Hoban, Yanun Su or the yabo Hoban. Nama Babanum in the bosom. na said there is a report of Munkrofa, wogu mining site, wogu nsudo, na was say na, a peda makadan. Isuma, sawa, abasana baka. Oh, man, kada mo.
They should be arrested.
Exactly. So President Mahama has directed. And you know what? That directives, baby, are on here kassenye there. What's wogudu? Why you him? But there are some reports there. Within the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, change of government and quite over 70 licenses was in wide and way issue. People are saying that no, some of them are renewal, some of them it's called for investigations. But the bottom line is that something happened. Obi o the mean to Jamaica, or the Nassau can sana. I wanna waji abana sasana na one for one san canyon. I know you when the speed at which the monk of one wire then what the BB kisses to the wire BB. That directive. So obedience ya for now why enter forest now? Okay. There is no policy direction as we speak now. And this ayaba benum. Yambo someone waka kana yezi. But I say, the yenzo bosom. Waka kana yezi. The policy and how we will fight Galamsey and this young fan tuga. What we have is what is in our manifesto. Our manifesto mean you are now coming to work on the implementation plans. I can't ever for that by then it be implemented. Nobody at this time can fault President Mahama or NDC there. The minister has just even taken office. Charlie. Onampo, what's the Wakakade? President Akufo-Addo, the worst president ever. Into Anka Pacho.
Say one the way to.
What's Anka Pacho? The minister American. Into Ononumpo Manoka Tanawa. So on Tinawa we are. Then they will come. You see, whatever we have is a promise we made to Ghanaians. The policy of implementing what we have will come. On not Chadaya then a Juma. But in praying, a man far too free. Send this food away yo, someone away yo. On Obia one than one chin. Mamma, you the margin for you. I be a present Mamma Kade. Obama, I want to go jail Obama amnesty. It was based on a contest. Contest. What was the contest? That was the timer. In the Ghana for him that watch it Chinese in you besia. Na senior minister Abakacha here there. So the baby raban when ja no one kwa sikebia all the China for ban omba mboche the man say. Nti president Mama Kasa say. E bibifu na woye kodakin. Black man with black skin. Onanu odem. Nemmom. I wanna what is sika? What is sheduma no ma? What's saying and assassin and Japaze in large quantities? The monk of Fonazano, what's why than one call. Given the opportunity, the monk of Funina, Obama on amnesty. Now, Jagana him time I was amnesty bia. Him most at times. Or ye in Jankanon, July. Bibiana yes, Republic Day. Mbachata say. The president can decide in consultation with the Council of State. Ebia on the birthday, Obutum Waye, then as other Chagana for him. Then, to them, the final State of the Nation address. Every outgoing president, Oyen, and just still President Obadan, Obutum will use on Ozonoidan, Ozaye. We have not gotten that stage where you ever try there. Because you said there, a mama confirm Nancy, in a way, when we do that, today, we have crossed the bridge. And what is supposed to be done before crossing, ye fail. We are not there.
Commander made us say, Ebusha high Kastle 90.3 FM, make out there a good rate, Miman Hodo, Jumezi, Ewaha, and Sama Abba and is in Como Friday edition, and then a special cry, and a special cry. I'm more vetting and yɛse nkɔmmɔ no so yɛzere fam yɛse amɔ ma menka no message no kakra na yɛnkɔ Mr. Host, please request Stato to provide evidence showing that they arrested over 400 people and jailed some of them. They should provide a source. When we make statement, we should present fact, not just say anything on air. Okay, but Mensumamo, a report on that. And okay, good afternoon, Madam. I'm listening to you live. Madam. May you come in? Come on, obisi me, Madam. Me. All right. So, may Madam, may you come in? I. Medasi de 80 and free oye abra medasi bebre. Congressman, please try and bring to the studio communicators who will criticize constructively and not those who are just desperate at throwing dust into our eyes. Mike Agbeko. Uncle Mike. Yo, Marty. Okay. Hey. Good afternoon. I'm really disappointed in what I saw among our so-called honorable yesterday. Even if they take the cost of the destroyed things, I think it is not enough. I'm very much impressed about how calmly and confidently he answered the questions. In fact, he deserves that position. May God help him to be able to carry out his task successfully. I'm Adai, Farmer Depot. Adai, one the covet in word also, and one na answer questions and calmly. Until come again. Samaba, bad fact is NDC is the nation builders more truthful and better than NPP nation looters. NPP, Ajay Rapture. Allah, regards to incoming MC for Cape Coast, Honorable Lawyer Judge Justice Arthur, aka GJ Afa Endora Abrakwa of Cape Coast, Abra. Medasi. Okay, so ma can one message in now. Ma also was in 0244743143. Me call the stream live on Facebook and YouTube, and to follow commenting for tour na men can inform more. Now within this week, one of the interesting topics are obey the step Attorney General Oteki about 5 people. Ora Ofosu Ampofu Doctor, former NDC chairman Anthony Kwekubuahin, former NDC Deputy Communications Officer, Dr. Stephen Kwabena Opuni, former Cocobot CEO, Honorable Dr. Kastle Atuforsen, Minister of Finance, MP for Ejumako Enyanesiam, and Richard Japa, a business partner and a business mogul. Mimde, you are aware on some of these issues and allegations. Another court issue are the Munkofi in our offer war. Ambulance, cocoa, fertilizer, and then what have you. Angatu, were you surprised about the move by the Attorney General? And now, were you anticipating such a move?
But only a man set record in the street. The vetting committee obviously on the use of it, but they will not see the use of it because you won't be there, and there are rules and regulations of vetting. Urban the minority leader, and the co-chairperson of the vetting committee now, no questions will be said, or you're unlimited. Certainly, but other members and panels and maybe are 3 and I'm with them. Now,
unlimited into Butumwa will be a question for more than 5 hours.
Basically, you were gonna will be converted for 2 days. One will get a short memory, no, and as I said them. Kasongo majority, no, Kasongo majority, no, and I said them.
Kasongo majority, you want to know.
And I say all micro majority, minority, you know, Kasongo majority.
But me, I know minority caucus and majority caucus. And I don't know Kasongo minority.
Isn't what's it by MCB, Baba?
And I hire him Kasongo majority.
See, I get into me then.
And the young call in
Madasi. Mr. Dama Kasongo majority, no. They were once in minority. Was Obi converting for 2 days? Was Obi converting for 7 hours? Was Obi converting for 6 hours? At that time, we were asking useless questions. But it's when the thing hits you hard. That is why you tell me that Sebi Aza Warrior and Yansen another on Fata.
But say another, they could have as well protest without turning over tables and destroying things.
Some have the money, Miss Mark on them.
Okay.
But any will beat the demavo, someone or feed on as a Kasongo. Or yeah,
the Fiamapo.
The
Fiamapo. Okay.
You move from your table to the minority table, and when they are on here, you can bully them. Ah, Neze, Sutoku, as a Ebazuki, what is to you? But in your beer, or your mature, because there was an agreement to the number of people. Maybe I make it there. Sebio, minority. Wape abandon na appointees were approved one in them. That is why as soon as President John Mahama on name na appointees of the parliament, although take 14 days and some was start voting. Since almost like 3 weeks in your way, Anamwa. You find the first week no year, and you con and brand pepper. Nka first badge, after that was start to voting. It's work there in there. You have voted in probably a 3. No compromise, na 4th person ba, 5th person ba. We compromise ding now, no voted among Crawford. Never the smuggle different ones are back on. Oh, Munja, where any po
or smuggle then.
I say you agree that though, Anamboa. One agree. The master minority and I'm a boy.
Okay.
At the majority of catch that some no can minority or Yakusama. They agreed on that.
No, ni schedule no do.
That this is the number of people I ever vet in there. Now, this video be sent to concerning end this time of war position on this vetting issue. As some of the same thing that minorities are key. But na make here. Senta sebe in a water town. And obey 1 year with your Kasongo majority or cheddar knows our ones in the door and can misbehave. Can imagine how we see. Yeah, you'll be no business question. Or do I say, Mr. Chairman, honorable nominee, congratulations. I wish you well. Take care of yourself. Bye bye. Bakuna baja allowance. And auntie. Oh, the margin of an ministry no kono. As a small okay. Take care of yourself. Okay, ministry no. Ministry.
Only question be.
And I'm saying, woman, on your opportunity, as some okay. Go for bonse man. Na money here. Do you know why sometimes questions go why if you there, I will be feed or irrelevant. Irrelevant, as I say. But it is test your what? Your integrity, your emotions, your respond. Mutaka. Why will be the question there? What to abana sasa? Neither if you know also no abana sasa or cantonment. No, see no. Why do we say I'm question? They was testing his integrity. na obi say ah nso ya ban asase na otoya na ana so so obi to da ban asase o luti na namboa nti munta ko dis no luti I want the double standard oba they wanted to what tell Ghanaians something how they do when we say ah ne dan no we no cantonment no ya ban asase that we be that munu ahwe onyam nam ye rules mo ka chere de minority a ewa leader na second another oye vetting committee co-chairman ho a ebutume bisa question oye unlimited onyam nam ye rules no it was done by parliament ntebeta na ka de obi bisa questions 3 hours dam nam hye mra no what time na bisa questions for 2 days no at that time no you okay what time now around be 6 hours 7 hours no you okay damn na twin be je
all right so you call the attorney general
now what do you expect what tag will be there by the claim agent one he more court
and some of the case court are cleared and
every case in the court one thing you or court
okay at first in the court in the way
or court appeal or court appeal or appeals court no court supreme court it is natural or continue but the attorney general and John Dramani the president of the Republic of Ghana were filed non prosecutor the case in 1 year to be Minia, what does that tell you? There, Oba no one ankasa 101 prosecutive one onyaza obey. And this is clear evidence of what they have done. But much was it, you know, here, you were ordinary Ghanaians, they are facing prosecution. And I'm a what? Address one. They are ordinary Ghanaians who they are facing similar and even lesser crimes were prosecuted one catcher there will file another prosecutor to discontinue the case because these guys are political class of people they work with them.
Kastle FM 90.3 heavy.
See, President, what clear one or unclear one? Maybe, sir. But you see, I mean, two things. Either open my case and out here do, not attorney general, walk out, Yazan Trokan. As I say, another mobile in Hawaii. So I was expecting it.
But say case you honest say man are you interested in the case again and offer the how a case in
or your political appointees go to man you interested in
so if you're politically motivated
now everybody be I want to file no press against them now when you're political known people of Ghana typical NDC members. And I'm also questioning about being prosecuted. We call we day. After I file no prosecutor. Because I don't belong to the class, no, but the political class, no. And so I don't clear now on ye. He should be punished by the state. But even one for no one wife, no one animal, won't go to the.
At what point now, man? Ofride me interested in a case again, so I want to file for null prosecutor.
Nam question chile bisa one away the mazo. Because I mean one but my clearly shows that because of belong to your political party, is affiliated to us. That means our case the entry. Now mobesi be out no only on fire. Can't focus on but it clearly shows there's a political party. Now what don't go for what's born? Nasebio try now wash such a decision about where they do war investigations. Why investigation say we are? We baby will provide the evidence and try no you know all kodo. Everybody have a file not prosecute because they are NDC known people. And people don't know prosecute you anymore. Young kodo in that tangent a minimum ababwa. Young kodo, Miss Young kodo pan young portray that angle no. Ababwa. But you see, me not disappointed though. But if you fancy an answer, especially say a downtrodden person to them in our Emma. The bande or do save war. What should be a tum or powers who seek some war or class or young with some eben one political power. Emma. And son when you deal. So we'll fight the corruption of power. And then someone fata, hey. I'm saying your mama for 4 years into anything, and no matter what to do, it's not waiting for anything.
But if my memory serves me right, a case like Atuforce in the case, you more Okrodo or quarter, he was discharged, acquitted and discharged.
And the same court also give you the chance to go to the Supreme Court.
Then a new government is free there. There is no fact in the case until we need to file for this.
I mean, that is not no the moon.
Okay.
Miss Oye Nipa. Intina, because more typical example that they are also war grounds are Sebio one offense no susa. More typical example, Obi Okoria Kuku and now punchy, he's being prosecuted. I don't know prosecute on can.
All right.
Because he's not a friend to one of our power CCI. That belong in that corridor. But prosperity will judge us all.
All right. But that's it. Commander.
Well, there's no record in Ghana that minority leader will be sequestered in between 2 days. There's no record. That should be put on record. 2 days vetting. Minority leader Nanguti and be question 24 hours. When you compare apples and oranges, you will not get it until you end up with them. Is in our own as a, but that is not the substance of the case. It is a obi a Kasongo micro minority. The fact that one more micro minority by force or the another name as I some chess game be another man. I don't think that's what the decision there you can't be vet too. You can't be them Nina or cock and bull stories because the fact does not support it. In any case, Wednesday now, or that were vetting now, it is the minority that insisted there. Although Oliver will be facing one.
Certain allegations.
Yes. Until Oliver that time when I was a buying. No, you'll be soon a time or that was a vetting. MPP for will go out. One friend and this for a Kasongo for. Can they say there? The madam no young Wednesday. I'm not that vet when you are vet one. So when you check it, and then they added Wednesday. And Crawford that was vet one vet was one come. The only addition for yesterday, yeah for on the Honorable Okudita Ablako. Naze. Ablako Naze was a come on so. Honestly, it was based on the fact that he was billed to face them on Wednesday. No, what changing? So Ablako had the letter. He had the letter. Fast forward. Sabita Freche. So one from parliament maybe for the Kasongo micro minority, their understanding is that Parliament is a lawless institution. It is when you invite you to alcohol. But to us, NDC, we are humbled by vote Ghana for Wazamahin. And you may then get the man out. What frawa nay then echo. In fact, in there, some of your media houses were reported there. The minister designated for Central Region is built to be there. But to some people, they know the man will be there on Tuesday. But the earlier communication was an account. So when you check, I will not know what Thursday now. In there, no, why a 10? So why will the Kasongo micro minority? What about when you could do now? Why not catch there? What's more good because him? And they have the audacity to say that they have been in government. Now this is one thing about that. What is this? Why are you talking as if somebody is a stranger? You see, it's not a market on the wall. A PIA check so, but this one it should be on record. As far as the vetting committee is concerned, the vetting committee is concerned, there is nothing like co-chairman. There's nothing like that. Say Kasongo micro minority fund. If they want to use co-chairman, do you know what co-chairman means? It's like who producer ewa. So a kind of your co-host. Then it means that in the course of our discourse, the person can also ask questions. But in the case of the vetting committee,
ranking member,
it doesn't give you the power of a co-chairman. You don't have it. There's nothing like that in their standing orders. It is if the Kasongo micro minority will free there, or at the fact that they are a ranking member or tell a co-chair, I want to know what's with your abandonment. Tell you, yes, man. In most cases, Oma Nkofuka there, Nana Kufado, or a clearing agent. Minimum Muza no court. We clear. We do court. But say any obi from the court, any is common about certain cases and how Ebuna AG's department will file discontinuation of the case and other things. Most of the wabakacha or the docket na yo. If you wabakacha there, anytime you for a case in the state prosecution officers or the wamba. Do you know what it means? They are not interested in the case. In fact, before December 2024, 7 December, Yakoto Aban, now AG Dama appeals issue or case on Atoforsen and Japa. No, we're fixing a date. We're fixing a date.
Let me check him.
Check me. The case in a case I want. Enjoying that Kasongo micro minority newa. What can want some? Because of your case are open or your that unprecedented in the history of Ghana. Attorney General now serve the interest of the people of this country. Decided that no interest in ya atantene. Nemom, I don't know when it's in there. He's not comfortable with the suman. The suman no don't know and then be jailing. Now, obi you say a suman, no producer. Now or that twisting some no they jailing. The man you mugasi some oba. Na still at the one the case in it. Na ese en fi ho a. Na aba you know what him. Nti akọ court. And do you know what the case was? What court? High court. And now, what peda waka challenge. At first, and more lawyers and what peda what challenge there. Looking at the case, on here there, what am well open the defense because the case to them no not or a non-starter or dead on arrival. Attorney General Godfred Odami, who was interested in jailing Atoforson and not Ghana for your being in Isika. And Pakuna Mpa, and you know your contracting. Ah, the million panels there. Say, as the words and I, and how about home? Into Yabakawa, don't worry. G. Usika. Na yantin here baby in home. As a Dabi, and Jessica. I dream of one. So be Krubani Trima, Otongum. Now, one guinea am there. 2 minutes, one or half forever. And just is also your funny away and drive Biana. I know pay. What do you know what Trima there? Sabi obedient this yo. Na da mon kwafo na wakada obi aku wi aponche akokọ ma odam na no nya pardon impede pidi jail no so ye obi na busuafo onu so ye obi ne bow but on abo wutim po there e be jailing. And these are what we call political trials. Onu na yes ye no high profile cases.
Okay.
And yet the substance. Now what we show. But I deny there, although we jail you know what the score point. Ntia you kasa today. Na President Kofo one yes why you corrupt. Ya best you ntimi anchi bi engum. No we also ntia ahwan wo bayen what yen is fegum. So you are not even interested in the case. But your interest is that minjelo obi na mo fan score point. Yes man. Bro, for what's there? Acquitted and discharged. No, obi charge me do abandon po chada you are as clean as snow. Chada bibi anyu you cannot be referred to as obi at the jail da. That's what they were saying. That you cannot be referred to jailbird because once the beer will feed the white beer, what's why wiping off? Say yeah, Attorney General, a prosecute case, not judge. I will do case in a I come with defense everything. Judge in the catch out the was American union in Zimbabwe. What discharging, acquitted and discharged. Next still there, a pedestrian prosecuting now. I don't know no more with me. No audio your bay auntie. Not try no kiss then. Mama company na sir. Opening. Fertilizer na wakra bay. Now in the course of the prosecution, a kwafuna what use to fertilizer and what's the year human? What's there's nothing wrong with the fertilizer. Woko and say won't be angry. But abani no go for Odami no in phone. What's something there? The fact that when ya obia also what see edurin no what say no yet. Say oh what say no yet. Inti although opuni no ye agongo workedem. I have something. In soon what the brain you know. Assuming you imported water for us. Manum menyar. Na say that who produce any machine or what the check in so. Into checking also there's some virus wom. So menyim so ye poison na what's there was a one che the okun slowly. So only be no woman sabazo. E kwafunu waba be testimony there. Fertilizer na what you see the gun na kwaze no den. E kumpo nyi ho sai. Ese still e be jailing. En fia wotwe. Ye da hwan ye wom. And that the MPP will say that the fact that the state has no case on your current agent. Not a current agent, bro. For the a case that is before court. Court now trial will change the judges more than 3 times. Opening the case. How do you come and say that you're a client agent? Are you a client agent because of 8 years in court? Or are you a client agent because the state has no evidence to prosecute the person? Nanjamfia wa chinja won't prosecute the other. Lawyers na wasn't going on your lawyers are what for more. On your small lawyers. Inti, it couldn't have a casing. And what I say, and then be a or come fancy was say, I don't know what I could she. Ewa, no, would you see a humubana will be for. But because you need to be factual. Now, bear in mind that in court it is fact. But if you are not dealing with fact, now as we emotions, and that you want to score point with your party people, you want to score point there, a jail opening, until baby what started here, what started the first, no mammy nanda. We see a done who be other see any mammy. That is where they started. What we ya cocoa board in a way general saying, or what we are. One farm call, one farm row, man. After the time I end this work we done in 2016, 2017, most of these roads are young when contractors were on it. Yet $1 million, $1 million, Crow and Associate. Yes, the investigation of these roads. Roads in Yana Wapansaman, Yanu Cocoa production at dwindle. Where we're doing something in the region of 800,000 tons to almost 900. Now we are struggling with 600. Now I try opening. Now the music kana yes any ya cocoa no ma nje Ghana funya ho faso. Nti inyi no wa onyi obi a other journalist other who ko Australia. No obisinde. Journalist na watch ho na bayen. Yenyi ma ho pekwa what ho quiet. Inyo no wasam na ye kan. Nya president Ghana journalist wasn't on a camera. AC Akunta Mines oye regional chairman of MPP. Na mining site company sunu do do ho. No kitchen asofu when you no catch am there. Nyo onye illegal mining. Nyo no wasamo. This is a case before court. The state has no evidence. And the case na dan wa fe nisi. Nka na abra fancy dress was it? Winsing. Wednesday, Adoba, Wednesday, fast. Tell why feel me? Why Wednesday? Why I cannot, yeah. Now, infant to be another white police. Chana, Yami Buana Ghana Fumu Tumbiama. So, yeah, next 4 years old. So, yeah, you, what's the mama? And about children. What's a crime has no expiry date. Okay, that's all.
May I say, Eja Nurudeen. Alright, Ebushama Minya wants to view on the topics you are discussing. In fact, you didn't come up bebre. About to my frabum 0244408046 0244408354. Good evening.
Good evening, yes, man.
Yes, sir.
Agbena taxi driver Mori.
Agbena minte.
Yes, man. But I'm better with the artist. I'm not there.
Me pochana no wa hanti kawasam.
Because artist ama yeah by election out. Okay, so the beginning na wadan de cha. Mu the artist na no keto. Yeah. A former health minister Abu Kukadma Menu. Akoto COVID do obaye kelebure. Only the na MP for interested wo. All would ja dem ko. Na wo bi a wa ko charge on ya fio. Nyom no no akasan yo. Or force either obey him, but I no I have it. Only one from Subi hour. Now, everybody, I bona wage no one. Yet I won't coffee you. I tell you what I
Medasi.
Hello.
All right, Medasi. Good evening. Good evening. Chairman, me too. All right.
Kastle FM. For better for worse, so Kastle FM for bomb.
Ya kawasam. Chaba, that's it. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Good evening. Yes, sir.
I'm Pacho Mr. Dawood Mukasi Fiabra.
That would mean too.
I'm Pacho, I'm the minority. My warrior, you know, I'm a Yershon with TV doing. I'm imagining Jenna Mamuhu there. Honorable Lucina will Lucy, no, I can't have you know.
Dawood.
Machasan. It's no, or there, see, Alano. I own the Ghana, ye penon kodo. Enti obi biara mana na kuma ombro form. Na Ghana okweye maame na awu nyina sebe onko ma joma ma onko ma biara oyeye ma intime mu fon. Enti ye besre mpanyimfo adwebro. Na wonye ma ya asumdwe ma Ghana nkonanyim medase.
Paso medase Dawood. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
For me too.
Opo today.
Ya mi adumo na won so e.
Ya mi adumo. Ada anka to dem mission.
I
don't know if you let me and this manyo kunina. And my son of what for the day when you heavy majority won't pay people on a yakin. But I don't know over more in this. Because if once a man what it can and I said, yeah, you move up or go to Ireland or go to our home. But you for my in a Obika Torade, say, open the dear, I had no ye. What's open the dear, I had no ye. And when you been a think you know, what you are to what you are. So, okay, the court ticket no you. Yes, maybe they will go to another no. What can I break the up over bread and another number for today? We are clearing agent. In that one of the channel, yes, one happens. I just the moment that you know. But the mobile band.
All right.
And then what then? 2028 is the more than 1 year so one way.
Okay. That's it. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Papa.
Yes, man.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Yes, man. Asama and the parliament on your face. No mum MPP for minority or said what is the media as in the woman on Yama, if you ma on dressing. Now, say, as in your words, we take a good decision. I will man. Oh, a hand years 2 years a month, 1 and now. What the year, Grano? Shondo, if you know what started all day. MPP come a war for a war government. MPP be PLL or Yasura before Ghana. Into a piazza against Excellency John Mahama a finance minister Conjelina. The Naku Pado Bay, MPP 1 or jelly. Obotun were jelly or pony. Wab a condo. So much as a one you need one for you, Ghana for the wound the anti-best rono. Who deserve with the offer the rock with when my will be fee.
Okay.
And see next time with MPP when you're 2 months. One blow one see. Vienna hunting or gross mama, but that's a mission.
Now, me insure unsu baby. Good evening. Yes, sir. Papa, we too.
For better for worse, so Kastle FM from bomb.
Kastle FM. Feel the power.
Okay. All right. But that's it. Excavator 2 you in. Excavator 2 you in. Excavator 2 you in. Na excavator 2 you in because my can report no one can excavate be to you. Onya no kor pe the report no no kor ai me da say bebre aba benyo do
na excavator na lo yewe awo ma minchi am boss no redeem oyewe oya da kwa professor from Pombo atten report also oyewe wo hwehwe wu nto nya ntabare tu ifan
report no ma kan
oya but adu no oyewe moboa yeso no
yanko ye no
awo ma kama asam vet ni sem ye yele kan wa asem abla ha wo kumisin onu kwampo na onyim de kan anu mpo minority wa vet no kwa no wa ye ya wa nyina ntuma wa ka che no wuyi no ho videos ansa na wa agina atuma asa ya ma kesi nya twum na ole ye no wo hwan oya na agin de that e pompom we oto wada anwa oto wada one dia na worry yen na oba ma we remain opposition 3000 years better yin na ye to Ghana ho yin na ye to Ghana ha na dama why me opode da mo concert na all kwado no so why na wada kira hwan ona buru mu a wata dama ya so won de respectfully inyanka se ye wa asase eyi informa he won kunu kutu djuma won fa ma han as lawyer I want to them me go more Canada. Dada, this time around we are not taking it for joke. You know be what getting. So what for nyama for car wo ba ten any da make say obaka trepe MPP obaka one trepe anya me ye adwuma.
Ya me kawasu, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Kwame.
Kwame.
Kasongo wana wewo. Kasongo fia. Michia, the boss.
Are you my great to meet you?
Michia, the boss, you didn't go, Besa.
Why you do?
Why are the commander? Oh, our commander wasting the now, someone said that your mama clearing agent. And there's someone citizen of Ghana. So was I somehow for quarter all these years? No, when one come for now, Abana when the case now was a quite a lot. Or the baby, and the baby instead of the baby, when you case news 1 hour from Ranase. As a citizen of Ghana says on us on Tasa, our constitutional right to take it back to court. And you know, a crime has no expiring date. So what was sure don't know other court.
Okay.
Now what is happening at the vetting committee on your honorable thing because say yasha vet. This is not the first time war vet I'm a yersha yasha vet but this kind of attitude MPP for Kasongo minority was so in the day. It is Sida. It be Sida. I don't know. Because why a kitty binity, why a micro nintin wopede, why a bibina, ebian crofu wana. But any moment or a 7 cry, or Sunday set your vote more as an honorable mama, another honorable member, a captain of parliament, another real Azar or Saday Momana, a said what attitude, once the year you can say a cassa, extra a honorable man, another honorable person. But more is an one shred away honorable. One hey, Master Aeroplane, non from honorable because as honorable member intimate and mepondo in front 2 baby megwabo. He said, Silk a pondo. There, ma, there were an African Notana, Basabata. It's my brother. More coordinates on FM, but after your market, they all know about 2 weeks. millions of questions. We have intelligent men. We have the men. We have the women. What's not all?
But I say
answer accordingly. It's on we are still question the amber. If you are you want to now come snow be send the fingerings. Yeah, but I
say good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Mr. Nkumsa.
Nkumsa,
all right, Papa, I'm me too.
Hi. I can't know why the area. Huh? Mr. I can't know why the area.
Why the area in what sense?
Hey, I the area. I said that money is actually one crowd. They go on some kata. No, I the area. Oh, yeah, no, first you cry. I check over there. Go for the Johnny. Already, now do. Now I'm going to drink it. If you get 2 hours, what could it try anyhow? But I said that you work on comfort a Chiba chat. When to my mama bra, you pump away one of the map on with that. You know, I should show you. I think it's what to say was the Beno. The same P. I am my dog. I'm glad I have brought him. I do one shot about the eye. No string at me. Since I won't watch nuclear level, I'm a war. I've done a batsana. If you come up my arm on woman, my cofado, I will my big jack in Casa. Hello,
Mr. Kumsa.
Oh, Master Madasi.
Last caller, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Who made the question things, boy?
Question something to you.
Adam some good to be said out to the layer, or then and taffy. Because one and Wakasa will shut up, into one to shut up with the Mutalo the Salon. But Madam, I'm come out some do. So, brother, just started 1992. I started Parliament. I have a Parliament to walk with video. I was betting walk with video. The country and offer you don't go there. I saw what I say them.
I friend your
dad. I don't want to let you know what after marking. My country, I don't want to let you know open when you are calling that. The man will have a town what Dachi. Yet to Abba, Gana Fuya will read them yet to my son, don't do Mama. I hear from Papa. What the veteran, all the way back to a general okay, you know.
Oh, all I know me yet. Papa, why this attack on me?
I'm a portion by a cat, Monko. I will tell her, Shakuma, a driver. The Tepo to Port Wolves, I can't put
on each other, Evans, I want to back because I only manufacture my portrait.
Okay, man, come on, you can't okay. But come on, and one will tell it to be a cat.
Interpreter catch him now, I'm Metana, corner, Sabi.
My brother, you will be able to call off for this last summer. I know him. Alamunia, I am there, we are calling for this last far. I'll be moving to your children.
Medasi, Papa, Medasi, baby.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
What's up? Good evening, sir.
You Papa.
Yeah, but your mother, the
all right, and I'm
calling from
all right.
But your first person, Mama Brother, New Jay. Micha, or my bonus, eh? Micha, do end this food now, special for Mama, Doctor, Professor, President, good lucky president in Ghana this time. Now, the vice president, Ghana Obuku Ajiman. Yeah, then you mentioned me there. Okay, and I'm going to send it to you there. You should summon that and invite you. Kind of what you're cooking in Pinson. Was I all you go? Was I all you go? Was what part? He's a way to the I don't cry, no one cry. Now, man, the other demonstration, you know, it's coming to Papa.
Okay.
So, Nimina Sanchez, this time in Ghana Water Company, Ghana, no what the work was street by street, your supply. One tell me, you may, you butcher. Ghana be 50% to pay butcher, I don't want to pay butcher. It's a massive name. It's a military and it's full.
Let us see.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, Daddy. All right. Ebusamu ntumi mfa offer for biabio. Ebusamese dwumezi no nyina wo kan na oyeye okodo. Enti efrebem na kasa na ebisa wasam another bibi nkoye na meka. Please nya abotal ne nyina yenzim komo. Don't tend to attack me. Biji dai da ma emboa. Enti mesre won nti na dwumezi no wo ho. That's bebre. I got you.
In the first place, I made up part Kasongo majority. Also the branches aside, but clearly when they give the minority a micro, one for Kasongo. But in the first place, many states will be there. Minority, and I end this for all minority, no. Or ye hiding a drisu or question or ye canoe for 2 days. Man kada masam no. He was vetted for 2 days. Say be at one can set for questions near the answer or sawara. But you see, to tell us the minority and the name part or they very 4 say 3 atibasa and no 5. Na sama ye kano or your cock and boo story. That's now one summer can say we saw the same thing or a cock and boo story. It doesn't make sense. Munya, Metzna Hamacanipi there. John Mahama, more ye clearly or a clearing agent. They are about cases in court. Busy 20 years. Busy 10 years, 15 years. Won't be mobile. Why they won't work for another guilty or not guilty?
He's in a way 20 years, 10 years.
Mr. There are some cases in court.
Okay.
Said to myself, oh, yes, this is one case is who. Atasa. One of but they belong to the fraternity of NDC. That is why they are clearing them. Now, you see, poisoner wasn't my MPP now. When you give them the same poisoner, no one will drop. Then, Namera Mama is your clearing agent. Another clearing agent.
That is according to you.
Now cases so called that you I would be determined will be on your guilty or not guilty. Now what is the court? But I truncate the case, and I can the moon prosecute you. Not only prosecute for very reasons about, and that is the position of John Ramon again. Mama can you? I find your mark in Zema. Rather, why they is the enemy of the NDC, and then we have technology, we have Facebook, we have Twitter. You have WhatsApp. Save you use it to communicate. In canon. And then in the 90s, no only ho. People make statements on that platform. When they want to pull it, and we have videos also audio bomb near to the day neck with evidence. And what they are doing over there now, or come, all my democracy no queen. And lastly, let me educate my friend there. You busy of your friend, that's a Mufango Courty. So, Nima, urban criminal case, it's only the Attorney General and Special Prosecutor and CID prosecutors who can take criminal cases to court. Them cases move to Mufango Court. This is a little education, I'm a man.
Okay.
That is it. But that's it.
Commander.
Well, so obi freno can missing excavator no man how home be said there on your report they buna one-sided because it is on record that from Pom Boatin professor na ankasa no ocho letter ozo kama Ghana Police Service no okay jam when there excavator bi OCZ no why. So if you rely on no report to Kuyoki or Kite, it has nothing to do with the excavators. But he has written officially to Ghana Police Service complaining of missing excavators.
On your report no more.
On your report no more.
Okay.
This obi or refer to reporter. Anyone who is saying it, is making reference to that letter on the 20th of January. The report. Sabi we be said that letter it's the person lacks understanding. Because if you report a case to police, a letter was to post office composer. It's one. Letter was to police. If I report a case to police, does it mean that we get a letter to poster?
Police will deal with it.
Exactly. From Pam Watton after 2020 State of the Nation address, when interviewing of Parliament, he also makes reference to the same report he has made. Do you know how the Minister may be now? You know when he accused Kojo upon Nkrumah. That Oyo Kojo upon Nkrumah, no oskimi, that one destroying. No, so that Dabio. Yamibia. No one gets a report as a command, Ghana police. There, but why? In any case, settlement where than watching. Watching the wire. I can't settlement.
Yeah.
Oh no, oh you Jumo. That's why media.
Yeah.
How about you watching? Oh, yeah, the same excavator.
Per the report, based on settlement, arrest, no, and Professor Frimpong Watson order arrest of Ekwusi.
So I'm saying there, the missing excavator Nasaman, or your Nankisa Professor Frimpong Watson, no, what's it called? Police station. Okay. Or reported there, excavators are company, sorry, institution on you was season. Why you? This was on wild tech Kojo upon Kumo.
Okay.
And we now we MP before. In the Kojo upon Kuma Bakanda, no. In Yamin Amazi, the master about Pado. But one kissan has it, the more report and come up police the one you remove. State of the Nation address in 2020 will be sent at the Parliament House. More sounds here than Ochatim. In any time you'll be able to excavate Professor Frimpong Watson and Okada Wayo. Or from Pong Watson office in the party yes you can obey. Nina excavator wasam. Until men can only report him. At the Mebuna there. I want to walk from now walk allude to that fact in the Buna them when you that worker. It is a report written by from Pong Watson.
All right.
As the call police. Woman can't me.
FNC.
Medisi. Master Matana Makan there. Minority leader. In fact, Kasongo minority leader or Kasongo micro minority leader. Nankuti obisa questions over 3 hours. Then somebody comes in to say there, why to be 2 days? Inference, simple understanding. No, Master American, I'm evidence biana. Another you are giving me a side of it, all the same. But there's no record in Ghana. Or the minority leader be some questions out for 2 days. It's my brother on that and follow. So to say that and Kadama, Nature Pekada. Mama Kasam, last one. You see, after forcing the case, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, after the ruling of the appeals court judge or high court, there, he was looking for a prima facie evidence in order to prosecute them. In the court in ruling there, the fact there, me issue letters of credit, that does not amount to payment. But if you are talking of payment, on the state institution now, I don't know one of them now, who could you can? I want another then, yet one. Now, Attorney General. Of filing on the 8th of August 2024 of filing now appeal. How about time no over case in here? August, September, October, November, December. Now if you any evidence and from prosecute 2 cases, I better catch no a crime agent. Now about concept in a way.
We say they see your son Yako I've been kinda Mr. Mo, what is the main purpose of the vetting? Has it ever happened that a minister nominee had been disapproved by the vetting committee from Adai Fine Milk Depot, Ewim. Mr. Host, okay. We will rather call Kasongo minority, not micro minority, because of this arrogance that sent them to opposition, and they are going to stay in opposition forever. Dorcas and Kamfwa. Good evening, Kamna. We should all pray for the president to serve the good people of Ghana well. Ohinijan Besakro. Ohinijan, that is our prayer. Paying forward the money in him, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Obubu Omani Neyina Watanya. We will all pray for him, and we are all praying for him. Mrs. Kwame Suman, but men Kyle, that on the 14th of February, on a vast day, yes, it's Trawodo, Kastle 90.3 FM, Jumezaya is about Trawodo. You receive entries, and Fabra, Tro, or a brief love message from our order for be wukun, or your one country, maybe, or girlfriend, or boyfriend. For message in 45044743143. 0244743143. Now in painful by selection, and I will go through or screen Uti and Kokwa na or pick one Ebenya a special gift and a free a ticket to Ridge Royal Hotel. I want a word of 0244743143. Entry ni way a good eye RJ Yanda Betway I say Damaso High Sense Ridge Royal Hotel. And afi nyame adoma ochina 1st of February oyaza one night guest movie premiere no orebado ewo oye SMS Auditorium University of Cape Coast. 80 Ghana cedis for single, 150 Ghana cedis for double. Me mangana Fredama who 0248469272 and our Kastle 90.3 FM front desk na beji utikit ni bi ewo ho kasara japadea na Ghana beyo eyo efemeni waro. Yami Aduma, Yabesinesia on Monday. There's another version of Me Manodo. Yes, Abro Mamindemu production team as headed by Mr. Bernardo Go, Osman, FKK, the Blackus, and Afi Alfredo. Wabwe. Yes, we see. Macronina, bye bye.
Me mangana, Adeshe Mama, Mama, Mominiswe. Moma Yefebia Kuya, ni Odo, and Fansumi many. Now many, Yankasara Japadea, Yanana no.